Rockies and Padres next. Three days left before the All-Star break, and a very important three-game set about to commence at Coors Field in lower downtown Denver. The division-leading San Diego Padres in town, surprising a lot of folks. They're 50-35. The Rockies not far off the pace, 3 games back, 47-38. And Luke will be back in action tonight. Jorge De La Rosa last was on a Major League Baseball field on April 25th. He missed 10 weeks. You know he's fired up and ready to go. Here's a closer look at the National League West. The Padres have led throughout the year. The Rockies and Dodgers tied at 47-38. 3 games behind the Giants, 5 games off the pace. Good evening, everybody. Glad you're along. It promises to be a very, very entertaining weekend. With George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Good to see De La Rosa back out there.
Yeah, isn't that truth? Boy, it's great to see him back out there again. By the way, the injury, what happened to him and what made it difficult for him to be able to throw the pitch? And I grabbed a baseball downstairs. The tendon in this area is the 2 knuckles here. What happens is the pressure when you go to throw a curveball with that middle finger laying on a seam, you don't have a feeling. It's a numbness. You can't control it, so you don't have any feel for it. It affects the fastball, it affects the changeup, but most importantly, it affects your breaking ball. And I think that's the one reason with this layoff. This curveball was outstanding. And you see the grip on it right now of where he put the baseball, and you can see the pressure if you look at it up on that finger, up on the seam, trying to throw it, and that's where he did not have the feel for the baseball. Well, obviously, when he did have the feel, he's pretty good. He was able to command the strike zone and do it with a couple of pitches. And again, the curveball, though, has become a mainstay against those left-handers. It has become a pitch that he can utilize on right-handers because he can command it to both sides of the plate, along with that hard slider that he'll utilize at times, too. It's just a magical thing that this kid's transformed into, and the amount of games that he's been able to win healthy. He's healthy. I fully expect a good game.
He is ready to go. It's been a while. Jorge De La Rosa against Kevin Correa. The Rockies' offense has been outstanding also, and we'll talk about them when we come back. It is Cowboy night at the ballpark. Cargo, Jason Giambi, and of course every night it's Cowboy night when Tracy Ringlesby rolls into lower downtown. Rockies facing off against the San Diego Padres. This year they are 6-3 against their division rivals. The Padres leading the Rockies by 3 games. The Rockies offense has been on fire. They've now moved up to 3rd in the National League in runs scored. For more on their exploits, we go field level and Jeff Houston. Jeff?
Well, what a place to start, Drew, because it has been this field that the offense has really started to click. On this homestand now, it's 7 straight games that they've had 11 or more hits. And this offense from top to bottom is just one of those machines that you always talk about for Rockies fans, that you just expect them to go out each and every night. On this homestand, hitting .353. Now as a ball club here at Coors Field, .299, which is the second best average in all of baseball. And there's one guy for me that's really just starting it off, and that's Dexter Fowler, hitting .500. It's singles, it's doubles, it's triples, 6 RBIs. And what he does when he gets on base is he just creates havoc for the pitching staff and the defense on the opposing team, because all of a sudden they don't know what he's going to do. That in turn makes the guys at the plate have a little bit better pitches come to them. So it's really nice when you have everything going. You have your offense, you have your leadoff hitter, you have your number 8 hole hitter, 5, 6, whatever it is. This is what Jim Tracy designed out of spring training.
Yeah, it's fun to go to the ballpark, Huey, when you're 14 for 28, when everybody in the lineup is clicking. The Rockies have smiles everywhere in that dugout right now. So the Rockies ready to go. It is the return of Jorge De La Rosa. Colorado and San Diego come on back to Coors Field with us. Baseball on FSN is brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. By E470, it's easy to use and adds value to your life. And by the Ford F-150, it's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. Drive one. Pretty night at Coors Field. The Rockies and Padres, 1-3. They met last week at Petco. The Rockies took 2 of 3 from San Diego. Jorge De La Rosa made his first start of the year against the Padres. Wasn't much fun for San Diego. 7 shutout innings. He allowed 1 hit. That would work well this evening. Jerry Hairston's going to lead it off for San Diego. First pitch is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space in your name to 95323 to receive your Domino's special offer. And to be entered to win a pizza party for 15, one weekly winner will be chosen.
Well, De La Rosa made 3 rehab starts down AAA through 14 2/3, struck out 15. One hiccup where they got after him in the first inning made his ERA jump a little bit. But he showed that he was healthy and got to a pitch count that everybody was satisfied with.
So here's Jerry Hairston. He hit a home run yesterday. Padres won 7-1 in Washington, salvaging 1 out of 3. It was a night ball game, so they didn't roll into the hotel till about 2:15. Hairston at 245, 6 home runs. Brothers in the lineup tonight as well in the cleanup spot. Here's the 0-1 from Jorge, and it's a ground ball to short. Nice start. When do the butterflies leave you, George?
Right now. As soon as you got that first out and you threw the first pitch for a strike, it's kind of like riding a bike. Once you fall off, you get on it, take off again.
Well, it was a nice little start. He's got the first man out. Chase Headley will be the next man he'll face from Fort Carson area. Adrian Gonzalez hitting 300. Scott Hairston, Nick Hundley. Aaron Cunningham's in right field. Will Venable is banged up on the DL. Chris Denorfia and Everett Cabrera 1 through 8. And then, of course, the pitcher Correo batting the 9 hole. That fastball at 95, so with the time off, he hasn't lost any velocity.
No, and when he came back, it was an all long toss program with Scotty Mariama early in his part of his rehab to build the arm strength back up again.
1-0 to Headley is just beneath the knees. 2-0. Marty Foster is calling balls and strikes tonight. Gary Cedarstrom is at first. Ed Hickox and Fielded Cobra second and third, respectively. De La Rosa 3-1 with a 3.91 ERA in his first 4 starts. He got decisions in all of them. Looked like he went around. He did. They check it out with Cedarstrom, 2-1. Like most teams, when they're facing a power lefty, they'll try to load up their lineup with right-handed bats. Slider on the inside corner. 77 degrees. It is an ideal night to throw the baseball, George.
Oh, it's a beautiful night. I mean, it's a great night for baseball. Good crowd is showing up, filtering into Coors Field.
37,000 plus yesterday afternoon as Jimenez beat the Cardinals 4-2. Curveball swung on. Actually, you know what? It had movement like that. It was 90 miles an hour. Jeff Houston, what was that?
I think it was a hard slider or maybe a fastball. It got around the side of whatever it was. Chase Headley stood no chance because that ball was in the glove before he was able to finish his swing.
Well, he really was on a fastball. Up scouting report tonight on Mr. De La Rosa. 3-1 record overall. 90-96 with the heater. We've seen 96 already. Curve, slider, and changeup. And again, the curveball being an out pitch for De La Rosa. How about this stat, folks? In the history of this franchise, going back quite a ways, and there has been some good left-handers. Mike Hampton, Denny Nagel, Bohannon, and of course Jeff Francis. There's only been 6 times that a left-hander has struck out 10 or more in a game. De La Rosa has 4 of those. Bohannon 1, Jeff Francis 1.
Fouled off 0-2 on Adrian Gonzalez, who's just 6 for 31 this year against Rockies pitching. He's going to the All-Star game, and he deserves to go virtually every year. 300 average, 17 home runs, 54 RBIs. And for Adrian, there's no big stars around him protecting him in the lineup, so it makes what he does that much more remarkable. And you also consider that he plays half his games at Petco. Jeff, this is a pretty fair hitter.
Well, I mean, you don't hit 300 and have 17 home runs and 54 RBIs on the season if you're not a good hitter. The one thing the Rockies have been able to do is to get Adrian Gonzalez to really chase some pitches out of the zone for strikeouts or easy ground balls.
And the slider and a strikeout. What an impressive start for De La Rosa. He strikes out 2 of the first 3 in a 1-2-3 beginning. Took him just 11 pitches. big league mound since April 25th. He's been out for 10 weeks with that tendon issue in his finger. Rockies will begin with Dexter Fowler. Jeff Houston was talking about how well he has swung the bat since his return from AAA. 500 average so far on the homestand. Jonathan Herrera's been terrific as well. He's hitting .317. Carlos Gonzalez at .307, edged out for that final All-Star spot, unfortunately. Jason Giambi 4 for 4 yesterday in game number 2000. Miguel Olivo, Brad Hopp, Ian Stewart, Clint Barmas, and De La Rosa, presented by Southwest.com. And the first pitch is chopped foul. Dexter, when he was walking out onto the field today, said, you know what, time to turn the tables on Kevin Correa, because Correa's had his number. Correa has not allowed a hit 12 at bats to Dexter Fowler. That pitch misses away. 4-pitch mix, George, from Correa. And he's a guy that has had mixed success against the Rockies.
Well, you look at his career numbers against the Rockies. He's 1-1, 0-1 this year. It reminds me an awful lot of a Derek Lowe. Not as good, obvious numbers overall, but it's slider, sinker, and a changeup occasionally. You see 88, 93, 80, 85 with his slider, and then a changeup to go along with it. Has not had a win in his last 6 starts, going all the way back to May 31st. He was 0-2 with a 6 ERA since then. His first 10, he started out very well, 5-4 with a good earned run average.
And he's going to get Fowler here on a comebacker. Let's take a look at the Padres defensively. They've been very good. In fact, they have not made an error in their last 8 ball games. It's presented by Mercedes-Benz. Scott Hairston, Chris Denorfia, and Aaron Cunningham in the outfield. It's Headley, Cabrera, Jerry Hairston, and Adrian Gonzalez left to right in the infield with Nick Hundley behind the plate. So 1 out, and that'll bring up the 2-hole hitter Johnny Herrera. And Herrera takes strike 1.
Well, the problem Correa had in San Diego against the Rockies last time is he fell behind a lot of counts early in the ball game.
And that one just did, out of the glove, get from Jerry Hairston, Adrian Gonzalez, 2 outs. 2 outs, that'll bring up Cargo.
Did feel like he could make the exchange on the ball. There's that backdoor slider. By taking it out of the glove, felt comfortable getting Herrera out at first, so he's flipped it with his glove.
That's a play you'll work on numerous times during batting practice, whether it's to first or second base. You mess around a lot just flipping it out of your glove.
Gonzalez hitting .348 at home this year, and he takes strike 1.
Last time Carlos faced Correa, hit a home run to the first inning out in San Diego.
Leading the Rockies with 15 home runs. 2 outs, nobody on for the Rockies. And that's high, 1-1.
Typically, the Padres score a lot of runs for Correa when he's on the mound, 6.5. The Padre ball club in his 16 starts, even though he's 5-6, the ball club's 10-6 when he starts.
Inside, 2 balls and a strike. Gonzalez hitting .375 on this homestand with 3 home runs, 9 driven in. The Rockies are 6-1 so far on the homestand, with these 3 games left against the Padres before the break. So if the Rockies were to sweep San Diego, they would finish in a tie for first place at the All-Star break. Bud Black and Jim Tracy looking on. So he gives in 3-1 fastball. He does. It's hit hard into right field for a base hit.
I'll tell you how hard this pitch was actually hit. Gonzalez was playing fairly deep behind the bag, but was not unable to. He's going to dive for this baseball, but he's unable to go out and get to the ball and make a play on it. second hop, Jeff gains an awful lot of momentum.
Well, and especially with Carlos, the way he can really buggy whip that bat through the zone. That time he got that second hop and it just took off.
Big day for Giambi as he celebrated his 2000th big league game. He went 4 for 4. First time in 7 years that he produced 4 hits in a game. 16th time in his career. He's got the average up to 265. Tonight his 17th start at first base. Brad Eldred's going to play there with Todd Helton on the disabled list. Jim Tracy's very mindful of not running Giambi into the ground. Got 2 lefties coming up over the next couple of days after Correa. Wade LeBlanc will go tomorrow. Who wants tacos? Fans, remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations between 4 and 6 the following day. Get your Rockies Tacos special.
Man, earlier today, Brad Hopp and Chris Iannetta both took ground balls at first base, worked on turning double plays. They worked on their footwork of receiving the baseball. And then Richie Dower hit the one hoppers right at him with a fungo so they could pick some balls out of the dirt.
(2-0) on Giambi. 3-0. I think that's one of those positions that the casual observer looks at and says, well, first base can't be that hard to play.
It's one of the hardest.
It got to be. All your cuts, bunt defense.
Well, who handles the ball more than the pitcher and catcher? Typically, it's going to be your first baseman. All the throws.
Ball 4, so 2 are on now for Miguel Olivo. I mean, Huey, you were asked to do that once you reached the big leagues. I don't think you'd ever done it at any other time. That couldn't have been that easy.
No, because you got throws coming from all over the place, and you got to worry about the footwork, runner coming at you, all that, and then, well, yeah, you got to go hit too.
Well, Miguel Olivo has had success against Kevin Correa. He's 4 for 7 with a home run. So the Rockies trying to get something going here with 2 outs. How about how shallow Scott Hairston is in left field? He's playing no singles.
That's kind of like what Colby Rasmus did with the Cardinals playing center field. I mean, that's about how shallow he is.
Leo once fouled off. League hitting .268 against Correa. Olivo at .370 against the Padres this year. A couple of home runs. Gonzalez at second, Giambi at first. No score, bottom of 1. Well, the Rockies rating .299 at home, aided by double-digit hits in every outing of late. The only team, as you look at Don Baylor, with a higher home batting average in the game, the Texas Rangers, hitting right at .300.
Well, don't forget,
Earl's got some guys to work with down there.
Got some guys that can really swing the bat. They got power. The ball flies in that ballpark as good as any ballpark in baseball.
And they just picked up Cliff Lee today.
Yeah, if you missed that big trade, first of the trading season, if you will, Cliff Lee goes from Seattle to Texas. Justin Smoke, the biggest name of the young players that'll move to Seattle.
Well, the other guy that went along in that trade, Blake Beavan, was the #1 draft pick. It's interesting that 2 weeks ago, They traded Michael Maine, who was his number 1 draft pick the year Texas had 3 in the first round. They've traded him. Now they've traded Blake Beavan, who was a 10-game winner and an all-star in the Texas League. Smoke was a number 1 draft pick. That's 3 in about 2 weeks they've gotten rid of that have been drafted between 07 and 08.
Well, the problem for the Rangers typically has been hitting. They've always put big numbers up. Josh Hamilton's having an enormous year. It's been on the hill. They're going to be interesting to watch with Cliff Lee set to make 15, 16 starts the rest of the way. This is on the ground up the middle and smothered. They're going to try to sneak back and get Gonzalez at third. Good heads up base running and coaching. Richie Dower there, making sure Gonzalez didn't overrun it. The diving stop by Cabrera saves a run.
Well, that does save the run. This little guy's got an awful lot of range out at the shortstop area, the former Rocky, and then he alertly just snapped up and threw the ball to third base.
And that's the play for me, George. That's just baseball instincts, because you're not taught that. When you're going to your left as a shortstop, you dive. The first thing you think is, I got to try to get the guy at second, not turn and fire and get the guy at third. But heads up base running by Carlos and coaching by Richie Dower.
Here's Brad Hopp. Brad hitting the 6-hole tonight as Jim Tracy wanted to separate some of the lefties. He had Gonzalez, Giambi, and if he had Hopp, it'd be 3 in a row.
Well, the reason behind,
and now they have Thatcher down in that bullpen.
That's the only lefty you got. So now when you separate, he comes in and he happens to get Giambi out. Well, now he's got to face Olivo. You get him out of the game. And now it's all the right-handers. The left-handers going against the right-handed hitting bullpen. That's going to find a seat.
It's going to be close, but it does by about 3 rows. Brad made his first start in a while yesterday, went 2 for 4 with an RBI.
You mentioned the pitching in Texas, and at the end of the heat gets him. I'm just going to make a mention very quickly. Ryan, 89-93, was 51-39, and it was at the back end of his career when he was in his mid-40s.
And Brad drives this one foul down the left field line.
Hopp's had a lot of success against this guy. You just hope maybe he hangs one up. 429 average.
Jeff, when you played in Texas, the pitchers really battled that heat.
Yep. Yeah, they did, because it was very hot and very humid, and a tendency in the second half to kind of wear down. Not only the pitchers, the position players as well.
Bases loaded. Here's the 0-2 again. Swung on and missed. So Correa works out of it as he strikes out Brad Hopp. The Rockies leave him loaded. They get a couple of hits. They also had a walk. We'll go to the second. No score. Jimenez will take a 15-1 mark into the All-Star break. All right, take a break. Breaks Plus poll of the game. Text your answers to 95323. What should be the deciding factor when choosing the All-Star starting pitcher? If you believe it's ERA, text rocks 1. Wins, rocks 2. Complete games, rocks 3 is how you should text. Show this text at Breaks Plus. $25 off any brake service this month, or $10 off any oil change and filter, only at Breaks Plus. Scott Hairston will lead things off against Jorge De La Rosa in the second. De La Rosa worked a quick 1-2-3 first, and he struck out Headley and Adrian Gonzalez.
Let's say this.
Down low.
Say something more about De La Rosa. I don't think fans appreciate, and they may, or realize what this young man has accomplished. 18-9 at Coors, the Major League left-handed best winning percentage in baseball since June of last year. De La Rosa 19-4, Lester 21-6, Sabathia 25-8, Pettit 20-9, Lee 20-10. You're among some of the best left-handers in all of baseball, and he leads it with the winningest percentage.
I just think Kansas City didn't want him anymore.
Or Milwaukee.
Or Milwaukee. I mean, that's the point. That there's a guy with a live arm.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. Bob Apodaca has really helped him with his delivery, his mental part of the game, with the way he approaches the game. Now, remember when he first came here, little things bothered him. I mean, pick a guy off and he'd go down the right field line, and then he'd walk two guys, give up a big base hit. Now he has the attitude, and something goes bad, he's not going to allow it to continue. He stops it.
Here's the 2-1, and that's hit off the end of the bat, and it is 2-2.
One other thing I'd like to add about the starting rotation of the Rockies. Think about this: 17-3 at home. Max that up for somebody else.
Rockies' best home record in the National League. They're 29-15. Padres have been a great road team this year. They have more road wins than anybody in the National League. They're 23-16. Actually, let me correct something. The Rockies have the second best home record. Atlanta's 30-10.
And that's why it makes this such a good matchup, because the Padres have the best road record in the National League. 26-16.
Three and 2.
Let me correct that. 23-16, still the best. They played well on the road.
They
played well at home.
Here's the 3-2 to Hairston, and Hairston swings at ball 4. Padres won yesterday behind Matt Latos. How good has he been? 7 more shutout innings for Latos. He has 6 starts this year in which he hasn't given up a run.
He also hit a home run.
He's big enough to do that. Another strikeout. That had a lot of movement on it. 3 of the first 4 for the Padres strikeout victims by De La Rosa. Mercedes-Benz defensive alignment for the Rockies. Carlos Gonzalez is in left. Dexter Fowler in center. Brad Hopp in right. Stuart Varma's left side. Johnny Herrera, Jason Giambi on the right side of the diamond, and Miguel Olivo is doing the catching. Nick Hundley will come up. Nick hitting .259 with 5 home runs. Ball's inside, ball 1 on Hundley. Hundley and Torrealba sharing the catching duties for the Padres. Torrealba started 2 of the 3 in Washington. And Yorvit's having a good year, George. .279 average.
Yeah, the biggest thing he's doing, I think he's always been able to hit. The biggest thing he's doing It's a far greater improvement over what he did a year ago, where he was 7 out of 55 or whatever, throwing guys out. He's 26% this year. A huge upgrade.
His arm is getting stronger and stronger from when he battled the injuries a couple of years ago with that shoulder. And the 2 on his line to left. This will be a double for Nick Hundley. First base runner for the Padres, a 1-out double by Hundley. That'll bring up Aaron Cunningham.
Fastball 96 miles an hour, missed his location. The ball cut right at the last second. He just dropped a hammer on it. 22nd pitch of the game.
So Cunningham, who just came to the big leagues last week when Will Venable was placed on the disabled list with the back strain.
Traded 6th-round draft pick. He was traded to the Diamondbacks and then on to Oakland for Dan Hare, that whole mess of guys that went over there from Arizona. And he was acquired here. He's getting his opportunity at the big league level again. Did a pretty good job of it. 304, 1 home run, 8 RBIs.
Four-year-old born in Anchorage, Alaska. We're not going to make Dougie do that whole thing, like the New Hampshire thing, the Alaska thing, right, Jeff?
No. It would be interesting, though, Doug, to see how many guys were born in Alaska that have made it to the big leagues.
He can't resist. He's
I know.
on it.
I know. That's why I said it.
You're torturing him.
That's why we have it.
Punch foul to right. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cunningham.
Cunningham got a couple hits last time the Rockies faced him. 2 for 4 in a day game out there in San Diego.
Part of a couple of big deals. You mentioned the Herron one. The one this offseason that brought him back down was the Kuzminoff deal. And the 1-2 is looped to shallow right. This is going to drop. And heading home is Hundley, and he's going to stop. The throw goes to second from Hop, and they're not going to get Cunningham. So it's second and third, 1 out.
Tell you what,
it'll be a double for Aaron Cunningham.
Tough throw at second for Barmes to handle, Jeff. You have no parachute behind you either.
No, and you couldn't have thrown it out there any better. It was a great pitch from De La Rosa. Just Johnny Herrera gave it everything he could. And then they held up the runner at third base. Hundley, he was charging hard thinking he was going to score. Glenn Hoffman held him up and allowed Aaron Cunningham, because it was such a shallow fly ball, that he was able to get to second. Nothing Brad could do from where he was playing.
When you make that throw into short, you just don't have anybody behind you.
Right.
It's got to be on the money.
You got to pick it.
Yep.
You just saw one of the rare occurrences in baseball, back-to-back doubles and a run doesn't score. This is where De La Rosa is so good at helping himself in his ability to get a strikeout. He produces more than a strikeout an inning. He's got Chris Denorfia up there out of the 7-hole, and he's ahead of him 1 strike. No score. Padres hitting in the second. And now it's 0-2, so he didn't put him away. He has several pitches, George. A lot of times, as you well know, guys, when they get a strikeout, it's really only 1 pitch they can get a strikeout. He's got 3 that he can get a swing and miss on.
Yeah, absolutely does. Fastball, that big sweeping slider, curveball, call it what you want to, and then a very good changeup.
Here's the 0-2. No swing, 1-2. right, Doug's looked up all the Alaska natives. Some big names on there. Kurt Schilling evidently was born in Alaska. Our good friend Daniel Schlerich is called back to Detroit, was born in Alaska. And Sean Chacon, former Rocky, made an all-star team in a Rockies uniform. Sean was born in Alaska as well. 1-2 on Denorfia. 2-2. Hundley at third, Cunningham at second. Hundley ripped his double. Cunningham hit a bloop double. 1 out. Three and two.
Miguel had a lot of help there because he didn't know where the ball was. But either somebody from the dugout or it was Jorge saying, right in front of you, right in front of you. Because he picks off his mask thinking it went back there. But with the help from the dugout and Jorge, he was able to get that ball and not allow the run to score. Not that it would have where it was, but sometimes you just run around and you can't pick up the baseball.
You don't have to give in here. With first base open, you have a slumping young hitter in Cabrera up next. Get a force all around in the pitcher's spot.
Well, the only reason I would be concerned about that, to turn the double play ball in the middle of the infield is going to be tough because as quick as Cabrera is running wise. That would be my only concern.
The one good thing about that, though, he is hitting from the right side, so he's not like from the left side. He's more of that slap guy where he's out of the box a little bit quicker.
And he's got 4 hits and 23 at bats this year from the right side. 3-2 again on Denorfia. And this is a fly ball to deep enough center field. It's going to get a run home. 1-0 San Diego. So Denorfia with his 15th RBI. Padre baseball, isn't it?
Everybody asks you, how are they winning? What are they doing? They're getting that type of situation. Clutch hits from the bottom of the lineup or clutch fly ball. Professional pitch, professional hitting. They're obviously getting very good pitching. Yet they have one double-digit winner, and everybody else is around between the 5 and 8 wins. But they have an excellent bullpen.
And they've played great defense. Their fielding percentage of .990 is the best in baseball.
And they've committed 32 errors this entire year.
And look at the guy at the plate. If he doesn't make that diving stop last inning, the Rockies have a run on the board already. Miguel Olivo got an infield hit out of the deal, but Carlos Gonzalez had to stop at third because of his diving stop, keeping the baseball in the infield. 1-0 on Cabrera. That's in there.
But you could also say then what San Diego got a little lucky with that blue pit that they had, where it was a great pitch, and that ball is usually caught because it wasn't hit that well. And then that's how they, I mean, that's just what San Diego's been able to do, though. They're getting those timely hits, they're getting lucky hits, they're getting great pitching. All of that has added up to their 50 wins.
Let's go outside the box with Jack in the box. Highest winning percentage all time for a starting pitcher. De La Rosa's 29-18. Ubaldo's 46-29 now. And a couple other guys in the rotation by the name of Cook and Francis. With 96-mile-an-hour fastball, it missed. It's 2-1. Two balls, 2 strikes on Cabrera. From a Rockies farmhand.
Yeah, Rule 5 draft out of Asheville, low 8. That's where the Padres took him. That's kind of a rarity. Normally you don't see it. Guys taken out of A ball, low 8.
Strike 3. right at the belt. Cabrera watches it breeze by. Strikeout number 4, though the Padres do get a run on a pair of doubles. San Diego not after this series. Ian Stewart will lead it off in the second inning. Rockies trailing 1-0. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo. Hey, Alana.
Hey, Drew, thanks very much. A little bit more information about the newest Rocky and Brad Eldred. Jason Giambi manning first base tonight, but guarantee you'll see Brad Eldred a lot more until Todd Helton comes off of the disabled list. I was talking to him earlier about all the organizations he's been with, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Chicago White Sox, Washington National. I said, what is it about the Rockies organization that has impressed you the most? He said, the fact that every single person from the top down embodies the meaning of team. He said, I've been in organizations where pockets of people were more into a team setting or a group setting, but really this entire team is that way. He said, I noticed it in spring training. It's a family. It's translated for him here at the big league level. And Huey and George, maybe you guys can attest to that with the organizations that you have been with in terms of teams that really do treat each other as a family from the moment you walk in the door.
Well, there's been a number of them, but I think the biggest thing that the Rockies put out for me now is it's not that they just want to be good, they are good, and they expect to win baseball games. I couldn't have said that 13 years ago. But I think now they expect to win.
Well, it's so important, too, for all your minor league people, your staff, your rovers, whoever it is, your scouts, to feel like what they're doing is good and that it works at the big league level, because that way you do all become a family.
They have a winning organizational game plan now.
Yes.
And it took them a while to find what that game plan was going to be. And they adhere to it. And it's brought them a great deal of success lately.
Well, the biggest thing about the game plan is patience. Let some of these younger kids get better. Recognize and realize what people are and what they can do, and don't expect too much of them. And Jim Tracy does a wonderful job of that.
1-2 on Stewart. 2-2. Correa threw 7 shutout innings in his last outing against Houston. His numbers his last 8 starts aren't real good, but somehow the Padres at the end of the night end up find a way to come out on top. In 6 of those 8 ball games, they've walked off winners. Here's the 2-2. 3-2. Did we miss a pitch somewhere? Is he calling him back?
Yeah, he's calling him back.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
The oldest trick in the book.
The board had 3-2 prior to that pitch. And as a batter, you're looking up at the board. I mean, you should know how many ball fours are. I mean, what the count is. It's when you're looking up on the board and you see a 3-2 count. Pretty good pitch.
Maybe that's why Ian just went ahead and took off. Uh-oh.
3-2 with Clint Barmas on deck. Stewart hit .261 against right-handed pitching. Keeps the AB alive. Rockies have won 5 straight starts against righties. As I mentioned, this is the last righty starter that they'll see before the All-Star break. Wade LeBlanc, Clayton Richard the next couple of days for the Padres.
2 very good left-handers.
Yeah, for their left-handed manager, Bud Black. Strike 3 on the inside corner. That is a pitch that gets Ian Stewart frequently. That hip side sinker, Jeff.
Well, I sometimes, because he stands so close to the plate, it just looks like it's almost going to hit him. And that's the one area that you can get a guy when he's standing that close to the plate. That Southwest Guy Cam shows that it was right on the inside third part of the plate.
Not anywhere near where they wanted to throw it,
no.
But it ends up a strikeout. Well, Barmas had pretty good success. 5 for 14, 357 average. Against Correa. Lately, he's had good success against everybody.
Two quick strikes on Barmas.
See, this is where I think Kevin Correa has never matched into the game, Jeff. He gets a lot of guys 0-2, 1-2, but doesn't put them away. And then works it to a 3-2 count.
Right. To me, though, he doesn't have that one outstanding put-away pitch. Some are average, a couple of them below average, but to me, he doesn't have that real hard slider that just makes you see it out of the hand as a fastball. You might strike out, but you always feel like you had a chance to get it.
Yeah, he gets a strikeout on Barmas. That's 3 punch-outs in a row. And that'll bring up De La Rosa with 2 outs. Let's take a look at our Geico quote of the day. George Herman Ruth. The way a team plays as a whole determines its success. You may have the greatest bunch of individual stars in the world, but if they don't play together, the club won't be worth a dime.
Couldn't agree with him more.
Yeah.
Miami Heat might be saying that.
We'll find out. There's going to be a lot of people gunning for the Miami Heat.
It's tough to play on offense when they only give you 1 ball and you got 5 guys trying to score. Last time I checked.
There's going to be a
lot of jump balls between everybody. They're all on the same team. Give me the ball.
James,
Give me the ball.
I think James and Wade are going to get their shots. And then the other guys, you know, whatever's left.
Bosch can get a few rebounds and dunks. I'm just glad it's over with. I don't have to watch it.
Cabrera, I think, dropped the baseball because he was distracted by Headley, and they didn't communicate real well. Headley tried to duck out of the way. So
I think he slipped a little bit too when he got right in behind him. His feet went out from underneath him. Watch as he gets over there, and then as he puts that foot down, see everything starts to slide away from him.
They haven't made an error in 9 games, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's an error for a delayed game. That's a tough way to lose your streak.
Yeah, 3rd one now on Cabrera for the season.
And a ground ball to second. Easy play for Hairston. Jerry throws to Adrian Gonzalez. The Rockies go 1-2-3 in the 2nd inning. San Diego leading 1-0. SN is brought to you by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Brakes Plus. Brakes Plus, a whole lot more. By King Supers, our people make the difference. And by Hyundai Uncensored. Real people, real comments on the all-new Hyundai Sonata. Visit your Colorado Hyundai dealers today. Padres got a run last inning against Jorge De La Rosa. They have a 1-0 lead. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Jeff Houston, Alana Rizzo. First of 3, the Rockies in San Diego. Rockies are playing better than .500 baseball inside the division. A year ago, they got off to a miserable start inside the NL West, and despite playing well after June 1st everywhere, including inside the division, they still finished 33-39. This year, inside the division, they're 19-15, which is the second best interdivision mark to the Dodgers, who have a ridiculous 23-6 mark for LA.
Do you know who those 6 losses were against? Are you trying that game?
Well, they had 16 home games in a row because of an activity that was supposed to be going on down in Anaheim, and so they had to leave Anaheim out and play their games at home. They obviously took advantage of it.
2-strike count on Kevin Correa.
Jeff, you notice how De La Rosa has a little hesitation?
Yeah.
How does that affect you as a hitter?
It messes up your timing. I think of the Far East guys that also do that. And as a hitter, you're taught to go back when the pitcher starts to go back a little bit. And right here, when he hesitates, you're going, okay, when do I go? When do I go?
Well, does it make the fastball seem to get on you much quicker by that?
Yes, it does, because you're sitting there going, okay, everything's slow, and then bam, you throw 96 at you.
That's the 5th strikeout for De La Rosa. So he strikes out 5 first time through the lineup, gives up a run. With 1 out, Jerry Hairston will come up. He bounced it short his first time. I'll tell you, just going back to that Dodgers story for a moment, fellas. The Dodgers were awful against the American League, 4-11. They've been terrible against the East. They're 5-11 there. Everybody in the division coming off a win yesterday. Rockies won 4 straight. Giants got beat tonight, though. Steven Strasburg and the Nationals win 8-1.
Was that Matt Cain?
Yeah, it was. Originally, you're right. It was Cain and Strasburg. Cain gave up some runs, I think, fairly early on.
I want to show you what Jeff and I have been talking about with De La Rosa. You look over the sky cam and you watch what happens here. Watch this hesitation. It's almost to a stop, and then here he comes on. That's what I think makes him very effective. From a pitcher's perspective, it allows him to gather himself over the rubber and break his hands properly, and then go to the plate. And it really eliminates ever getting underneath the breaking ball, because the arm's going to work up.
And that's something he really changed within the last year or so over here. I don't remember when he first came over to the Rockies. I don't remember him having that hesitation as much as he is now.
3-0's in there, 3-1. Strasburg today went 6 innings, allowed a run on 3 hits. Walked 1, struck out 8. Three and 1. De La Rosa working to Jerry Hairston with 1 out, nobody on in the 3rd. Get this, in a week of comebacks for the Rockies. Philadelphia trailed the Cincinnati Reds in the bottom of the 9th, 7-1 tonight. They have scored 6, and that ball game is now in the 10th inning, tied at 7.
Matt Cain, last 3 starts, you mentioned that about going against Strasburg. His ERA 8.36 prior to today. That's not very good.
Jerry Hairston kind of showing his frustration, Huey, with the time De La Rosa's taking.
Well, that's why you try to get him off their game.
Well, that was really close. Called a ball, so A 1-out walk, first allowed by De La Rosa. Here he was opening day at Coors Field against the Padres. He didn't give him anything.
Look at the breaking ball. It's nearly impossible to hit. That's the Padres. They didn't like it.
That'll bring up the switch hitter Chase Headley. He struck out swinging his first time. Headley's made the conversion back to third base from the outfield. One ball, one strike on Chase. A lot of friends and family here. Typically the case for him when he comes back to his home state. Hitting .204 from the right side, .311 from the left side. Huey, as you know, it's always a neglected side for switch hitters, even if it's their natural side.
Well, because you just get about 3/4 of your at-bats from the left side because of all the right-handed starters. And you can do all the cage work, all the tee work, front toss, whatever it is, but until you see that live arm action, not going to happen.
And a throw by Herrera. What a play. Let's put a stamp on it right now. Our Home Depot doing more on defense.
Well, you're first off in double play depth, and then the ball's just squared up to your left. You just have to lay out and dive, because as hard as this ball was hit, it might get in the gap for another double. I mean, that ball was scalded. And Hairston, unfortunately for the Padres, Hairston did a fine job on the base running. Otherwise, he would have been doubled off.
Adrian Gonzalez takes a strike.
And just another example of Johnny Herrera doing something in a ball game. And we've seen him get the hits, but now it's the defense. Every night we're talking about that young man.
He's playing with so much confidence. There goes the runner, and this is in the air to right center field and deep and gone. Adrian Gonzalez, a 2-run, 2-out home run to make it 3-0 San Diego, his 18th of the year.
18th of the year, 12th out on the road, only 6 at his home ballpark this year.
Second career home run against De La Rosa.
Oh, you just look where this pitch is, too. Belt high, inner half, strong man. And he's big, but boy, he's got quick hands to the baseball. Generates a lot of bat speed. When he hit it, he knew it. So did Brad Hopp in right field. He did the old soft jog and then just turned his back the other way.
Now, this is how the Padres offense works. They manufactured a run last inning. This ball is pulled foul by Scott Hairston. And then the one bona fide big-time bat in their lineup strikes. Now you have a 3-run lead.
Well, the Hyundai cam, he really had to pull his hands in because that was inside, but why he was able to hit it out, because it was about belt high. He didn't get full extension on there, but we always talk about pulling your hands in when the ball's in, and that's exactly what Adrian Gonzalez did on that swing. That allows the barrel of the bat to get to the baseball quicker. Ouch. Went right off Miguel.
Two-strike count on Scott Hairston.
Get back to Adrian Gonzalez for a second. 18 out of the 66 home runs that the Padres have hit. Almost a little over 26% of the home runs have come from Adrian Gonzalez.
Oh, he's just doing what he's getting paid to do.
Well, yeah.
In a big way. Well, again, that goes back to, you've been in many of those meetings.
Uh-oh. fastball is well hit. Fowler going back, and he'll get there on the edge of the track. In the inning, there was a walk to Jerry Hairston and a 2-run home run from Gonzalez. And the Padres have a 3-0 lead. Top of the order for Colorado. Time now for tonight's Cabot Woodstain's legendary performance. 1937, the Yankee Clipper hits for the cycle as he delivers 2 home runs, triple-double and single. DiMaggio will accomplish this feat just once more in his career back in 1948. It's pretty good having it twice in your career. Top of the order for the Rockies, down 3-0. And the fastball in the inside corner from Kevin Correa. Strike one on Dexter Fowler, who hit a little comeback, or his first on. Dexter's now 0 for 13 against Correa. Correa is one of those typical back of the rotation starters. And you look at them across the board. First time through when they're on, they're usually pretty good. Second and third time through, the average and their earned run average skyrockets.
Oh, they always do. I mean, that's just, you know, is he a number 5 starter? Pretty good chance of it. The way he operates. He's been at 203 games. He started 79 going into this year. Averages 5 1/3 innings per start.
2-2. Strike 3. Fowler caught looking. That's 4 punch outs for Correa.
Got catching a little off guard here too. Let's look at this pitch, see where it is. Well, he painted it right on the outside corner, a little bit off. But it's enough with 2 strikes, pretty close not to be hacking. No strikeouts for Correa in his career. Guess who it came against? Colorado. 8. June 29th.
And this year, pitches 46 through 60. The league hitting 354 against him. Herrera takes a strike. George 61 through 75. They're hitting 375 against him. So, you know, you start getting in that 3rd, 4th, 5th inning.
Well, and he teases you because he'll throw the first 5 and be lights out, and then go out for the 6th and all of a sudden get blown up in the inning. You'd think by now, after his career and the way he has gone through it, because he's a very good reliever, more than anything out of necessity to use him as a starter. 95 starts now. Once he gets through 5 with the lead, he's done. It's kind of the same way. A lot of guys, Josh Falk, same way. He gets to pitch count 85, everything starts to happen.
Johnny Herrera takes the off-speed pitch and serves it to left field. Another 2-strike hit for Herrera. And that'll bring up Cargo with 1 out and 1 aboard.
Well, it's just, George, it's just one of those things where he just makes that short, compact swing.
On a bad pitch from Correa up in the strike zone, which made it a little bit better to get a good swing on it, and he did it.
Cargo on a 2-0 pitch ripped a single to right. Take a look at his Amica hit zone in a moment. Amica, it's not how you're covered, it's how you're treated. Gonzalez's average at 309.
No, really, one of the only weaknesses I think he has is chasing that ball down and away from him.
That's amazing, seeing 7 red boxes, and one of the 2 blue ones is right down the middle. This ball hammered to center field. Take a good look. UNC for all. I think that was in that blue box, George.
I know this much. You could see Correa, though, as soon as he let go of it, he was wishing he had a string attached to it where he could pull it back. Now, here's your hit zone right in the middle. Drew said, hey, throw it down the middle. He's only hitting 207. It's a little bit higher now, folks. A lot of power generated, long swing, back speed through the zone.
He's something else. 16 home runs for Gonzalez, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
The last 2 times now he's faced Correa, he's taken him deep for a 2-run home run.
Guess if your name's Gonzalez tonight, you're destined to go deep.
Boy, that happened in a hurry.
The thing about Cargo, here's the 1-1 at Giambi, Jeff, is that he'll hit those majestic home runs that are long, high fly balls, and then he'll hit balls that are singles that forget that they're singles. They go 420 feet.
And that was kind of one of those ones because the way Denorfia went after it.
This ball's hammered. Hang on. Deep left center field. And it's going to bounce off the track over the wall. Jason Giambi's locked in. A ground rule double. Tying run at second.
And now kind of goes back to the point we were talking about just a few moments ago, guys, in the fact that you're going to see Correa second and third time. You start to pick up that release point. You start to pick up where he's trying to work. And Jason took that ball low and away and drove it exactly where you should. Over to left center field gap, short hops the wall, up into the stands.
Well, in a 4-hit game yesterday for Giambi, the only guy older than him to have one this year has been Edmonds. He's 40.
There's Miguel Olivo. He had an infield hit his first time. Great diving stop by Cabrera to keep a run off the board. That ball cuts away from the Rockies catcher Miguel Olivo. Miguel 5 for 8 now against Kevin Correa. Giambi at second. 3-2 San Diego. And this ball's hit well right center field. This will tie up the baseball game as it short hops away. Olivo to second. Back-to-back doubles. 3-3 affair. You keep on talking about the second time through, huh?
Well, it plays right into what the numbers suggest from Kevin Correa, too. And Miguel taking this fastball that cut back a little bit, but he took it from the Hyundai camp right exactly where he should, over in the right center field.
Well, how about this, guy? 6 pitches, 4 hits, 1 bomb, 2 doubles, and it's 3-3 ball game. What happened? If you're Kevin Correa right now, it's kind of like, what really just happened here?
You know, I was talking to Matt Stairs before the ball game. He's been around seemingly forever. And he said that's where the Rockies are different. He said we typically, we need a single, a walk, and then maybe a double to score a couple of runs. He said, looking over at that dugout, talking about the Rockies, he said you guys get a couple of singles, and then boom, a 3-run bomb. He said that is a dangerous lineup. Here's Brad Hopp, speaking of dangerous.
Well, everybody thought about the offense, what they could accomplish coming out of spring training. They hadn't done it until about a week ago. Now all of a sudden they're throwing up a big number over and over and over again.
And look how they've moved up in the offensive production in the National League just over the last couple of weeks. They were middle of the pack in runs scored. Now they're third in the league in runs scored.
That's tough to do, too, when you're talking about the 9th of July.
Yeah.
To move up that far after that many at-bats.
2-strike count on Hopp. And the Rockies, because of what they've accomplished two of the last 3 years, being a postseason team, a World Series team, they now have that reputation in baseball as, okay, they're going to hang around, be pretty good, and then look out, they're going to go on a run. And I've read it online. You guys have read it online. Other papers around the country. The Rockies have a lot of respect, but people in baseball now expect them to do one of those, 12 out of 15
but
kind of deals.
They've never had pitching like they have had the last 2 years. Guys that throw strikes, guys aren't afraid of contact.
You just know the opposing teams know it too, though. Anytime they come in, I guarantee you, San Diego, after they're up 3-0, they're sitting over there going, oh, when's it going to happen? Because you know it's going to happen sometimes. And then you get that tie-up home run and then the double.
Olivo at second. Here's the 2-2 on Hopp. Swung on and missed. So Correa, after 4 straight hits, single, home run, double, gets Hopp. And that'll bring up Ian Stewart, who struck out looking his first time on a 3-2 pitch. Three, 4, and 5 in the Rockies' order. 5 for 6 and a walk in the game already. It's Gonzalez, Giambi, and Olivo. See if Stewart's aggressive early in the count here. He is, and he hits it in top of center field. Way back. That's aggressive. 5-3 Colorado. 10th bomb this year for Stewart.
A couple of weeks ago, he didn't have a lot of Rockies consistently hitting with power and driving in runs. Now you've got quite a few. You can see Correa again knowing he made a mistake because they were trying to come inside. He stayed out over the plate and carried into right center field over the top of the dugout and into the pond.
And Barmes fires at the first pitch. That was a cutter up in the strike zone.
What does Jim Tracy always say about Ian Stewart? Swing the bat. Be aggressive. Good things will happen when you swing it.
Tough to get a hit if you don't.
I know. Jim's been preaching that ever since he took over.
0-2 the count on Barmes, which is the second home run at Coors Field for Stewart this year. It will not be his last. Talk about counter punching.
Exactly. No, that's what you did. What I call that is you got their attention now. They're going to be a lot more cautious.
Barmes gone, but the Rockies come up with 5 runs in the inning. 4 extra base hits, including 2 that go over the wall. Carlos Gonzalez is 16th. Ian Stewart his 10th. 5-3 Rockies. And Stewart victimized the man on the right, Kevin Correa. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question tonight. And it reads, can you name the 2 major league players who hold the career record for pinch hit home runs? I think you played with one of these guys, Frazier. I think you did.
Played with a couple of them.
Nick Hundley's going to lead it off against Jorge De La Rosa. De La Rosa gave up a scratch run in the second, and then a 2-run home run to Adrian Gonzalez in the third. Hundley doubled his first time up. That fastball was fouled off. That was on the outer third. Good pitch. First start for De La Rosa in 10 weeks. That flexor tendon issue in the finger. And a bunt attempt, and Olivo waits till it goes foul, which was the prudent thing to do because he would not have had a play.
Unfortunately, he had that sideways spin. He caught it right off the end of the bat. And the spin going away from the grasp on the foul territory side.
Huey, did you bring your umbrella tonight?
I didn't need it. I gave it back to the Four Seasons on the way home the other day.
Why would he need it? Huh? Sunny skies. Why would he need it?
It's beautiful right now. Look at this. There's a little wind. There's a few clouds.
Huey, I think he's losing it. Because in the first inning, he's thinking, well, he's saying, what a great night for baseball. The sky's clear.
Where's the rain?
Exactly. Now he goes, where's the rain?
No, I knew it was nice. I was going to make a little joke because he brought the umbrella the other day. And tonight's beautiful, but I'm not forgetting. Never mind.
Okay.
Here's the 0-2. 1-2.
Just because you're undercover up there, and sometimes you have the heater, and sometimes you have the fan.
Tonight it's a fan night.
Okay.
I never hear you complaining when you're sitting up here.
I don't. You're exactly right. But it is a beautiful night down here at field level.
Perfect. Great start to the weekend. This ball's well hit left center field. Hundley's going to have himself his second double. He went down and got a changeup. I thought that was located pretty well, George.
Well, it is. I mean, it's a very good pitch. The velocity's good. Everything about it. It's at 84 miles an hour. It's just, you know what? I always come back to that saying, Jeff. They practice too.
Yeah. And that's exactly what he did. It wasn't a bad pitch. It wasn't the speed or anything like that. He just went down and got it.
Aaron Cunningham. He hit a double his first time up. It was a bloop double. Finally had to wait to see if it was going to be caught. So he could only go to third base. Scored on a sac fly. That's down 1-0. Cunningham's 8 for 16 now against left-handed pitching since coming back to the big leagues. De La Rosa is set to go behind 1-0. He did his best, didn't he, Huey? Try to get it to the right side.
Yeah, I think that ball was about 2 inches above his hands because he was just trying to hit it to the right side, and that's almost snuck down there. Right out of the hand of the Hyundai Cam. Right off the label. Good thing that label was turned down. Otherwise, that would have been a broken bat. Still surprised it didn't crack.
Remember when you used to crack a bat and you go out and get those little penny nails and drive them in there and wrap them with tape? Save the bat?
Not anymore?
Well, I still do it. I'm just not sure people today. They probably go back to a hardware store or a sporting goods store and get another one.
Still under warranty.
Two and two. A lot of pitches, though, in De La Rosa's return, though the strike to ball ratio is pretty good. It's 2-1. I mean, it's only walked a batter, but He's got 65 pitches tossed with nobody out in the 4th inning.
With those strikeouts, that'll increase that total sometimes.
Ground ball to third. Stewart. Textbook play. Not only looked Hundley back, he kind of ran him back. Tonight's Fast Cash Sideline Report is brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Once again, here's Alana Rizzo.
All right, guys, thanks very much. I want to encourage fans at home to come out to the ballpark tomorrow for the game against the Rockies and the Padres. A 6:10 start, but I also want to encourage you to bring something with you when you come to the park. The Colorado Rockies and baseball tomorrow are having their annual fundraiser to bring equipment to the park so they can give it to kids that don't necessarily have any baseball equipment. They're looking for new and lightly used baseball equipment. It's going to start at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon when gates A and D open. Then at 4 o'clock, all of the other gates open. They're going to handle this fundraising drive until the bottom of the 2nd inning. So clean out your garage, clean out your sheds, bring in some old or some lightly used and some new equipment so kids that want to play baseball have an opportunity, guys.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful cause. So make sure you bring out as much baseball equipment as you can find. New and lightly used, as Alana just described. That's tomorrow here at the ballpark. 5-3, the Rockies leading. 1 out. Hundley at second base. Chris Denorfia is at the plate.
Good at that. First time up. Deep enough fly ball to score a run.
Former Cincinnati Red. And he tops this one to short. And Vargas on the field to get Denorfia. Runs pretty well. Good play by Clint. Pretty good read by Hundley. As he was slowly hit, he moved up, gets a pat on the back from Glenn Hoffman, 2 gone.
You don't see many shortstops with this type of an exchange, meaning from the glove to the bare hand and the accuracy that it has, all in one motion. Perfectly thrown to Giambi, head high.
I just like the way he's able to throw off the run, a lot like Troy. I mean, to play shortstop, you have to be able to do that. Throw from a lot of different arm angles and also from a lot of on the run a lot of times.
Cabrera struck out looking on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. He takes down low. Everett Cabrera in the leadoff spot quite a bit a year ago. He's battled some injuries this year. And not swinging the bat as well, so he's down at the bottom of the order. They don't have a true everyday leadoff hitter. Tony Gwynn's nicked right now. Probably wouldn't be in there tonight anyhow against the lefty. He's got a heel injury.
Oh, and we were in San Diego last week. They were talking on talk radio in San Diego about picking up a outfielder, leadoff hitter, and Scott Podsednik's name was being bantered around.
He's having a good year, hitting around 300 for the Royals, former Rocky. 2-0 on Cabrera. And a ground ball, and a short, tough chance, and that is going to cost the Rockies a run. A lot of topspin on that. Barmes was aggressive coming to get it because of Cabrera's speed. And Jeff Houston, that just ate him up.
It did. That's the one time, though, you don't need to charge it quite so hard. Off the bat, he just goes after it, and then he should have just held back. And I understand with the runner going, but he just got caught in no man's land. Either you got to keep coming and getting it, George, or you got to sit back.
Yeah, and I think maybe the reason he did come to get it on that, you could see him plant the right foot because Cabrera's speed. Because it was hit a little bit out towards the hole. That's the only reason I could think he would come in to meet the baseball. But that topspin, man, it comes at you pretty quick.
Being scored an error on Barmes, so it's 5-4 with Correa at the plate.
6th error of the season on Clinton.
This is bounced towards Stewart. Nice pickup. In the inning, a leadoff double by Nick Hundley, and then Cabrera Got the ball in play. Bombers couldn't handle it. It's a one-run ball game. X1 Marketing Solutions business results, July 9th, 2005. After 11 years, Coors Field finally hosts a 1-0 game as the Rockies edge the Padres. The span of 846 regular season games is the longest by any ballpark without having a 1-0 ball game. And now you see them fairly frequently at Coors Field. 5-4 Rockies. They get 5 last inning. Hit a couple of jacks. Carlos Gonzalez is 16th. Ian Stewart is 10th. By the way, there's now been 9 1-0 games in the history of Coors Field. De La Rosa leading off in the top of the order against San Diego native Kevin Correa. To Grossmont Junior College down in the San Diego area, then on to San Luis Obispo. On the outside corner. 1-2. Not surprising. It's now a final. Philadelphia has defeated Cincinnati 9-7. So they got 6 in the 9th. Did the Phillies to tie it up, and they win it in extra frames.
I bet you there's a few long balls hitting that ball game.
Well, in either one of those ballparks, whether it would be in Philadelphia or Cincinnati, Citizens Bank or Great American. This ball's pretty well hit to left field. It is foul.
Well, both those ballparks you were talking about, the Rockies will have an opportunity to go there after the All-Star break. Open up in Cincinnati for 3, 4 in Florida, and 4 more in Philadelphia.
It's a long road trip. It's an 11-game road trip. It's a carryover in Philadelphia. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You don't see too many of those.
Nope.
2-2. What'd you say his career high was? 8 strikeouts against the Rockies. He's got 7 now in 3 1/3. Well, when the Rockies have put it in play tonight, they've gotten hits. There's only 3 fielders that have been involved in an out. Twice, Jerry Hairston Jr. has fielded a ground ball, and Kevin Correa, comebacker against Dexter Fowler in the bottom of the first. Every other out has been a strikeout. by a pitcher who, he'll strike out some, but
not like that.
Yeah, I mean, as you said earlier, also Jeff Houston, he doesn't have a real nasty swing and miss pitch that you're real concerned about with 2 strikes.
But he's been able to locate at times tonight, which he hasn't been able to do at other times in his career.
2-1 on Fowler.
Dexter Fowler leading in the way here in the month of July in on-base percentage. 6.22. Is that any good? 6.22 on-base percentage?
That's really good. 3-1 on Dexter. Dexter tied for the club lead in walks with Todd Helton.
And he missed a month.
And, Todd has 73 more at-bats than Dexter.
By the way, I hope everything's all well with Mr. Helton. Getting better, healthier, get his back fixed. We miss him.
Correa now with 8 strikeouts. Second time he's gotten Fowler. 2 outs. That'll bring up Jonathan Herrera. Can you name the 2 big league players who hold the career record for pinch hit home runs? And our answer, Matt Stairs. There's Matt. And Cliff Johnson. Didn't you play with Cliff, George?
Against Cliff. He left when I went there.
Okay. See, I thought you overlapped.
I think he got in a little disturbance with Goose Gossage, and he didn't have much of a shot after that.
There's a 1-0 on Herrera. I was talking to Stairs before the ball game. And I said, all right, how many managers have you played for in your career? And I said, it's got to be at least 15. So he sat back and he counted every one of them. And he said 16. including Art Howe. He played for some good managers. Art Howe, when he was with Oakland with Jason Giambi, who he remains very good friends with. This is bounced to Adrian Gonzalez, and that's all for the Rockies in the 4th inning. Rockies lead it after 4, 5-4. Is brought to you by the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Call 303-571-1114 and ask about our hometown sports package. By Old Chicago, eat, drink, and be yourself. And by the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. (5-4) Colorado, 5th inning. Jorge De La Rosa. First start since late April. Missed 10 weeks on the disabled list with a flexor tendon issue in his finger. 3 rehab starts with Colorado Springs. Looking for his 4th victory of the year. Jerry Hairston, Chase Headley, Adrian Gonzalez, top of the Padres order. Hairston is 0 for 1 and a walk. Fastball's high and away.
If you'd like to upgrade your ticket when you come to the ballpark or upgrade the experience you have here at this ballpark, look at the newly renovated Mountain Ranch Club. 303 Rockies to do that. Sit out in beautiful weather like this, have a nice dinner, and watch some baseball. That is absolutely gorgeous.
That is a great place to watch the game. Great place to dine. It's good food. Really good food. 1 ball and a strike on Hairston. And Jerry didn't get the slider. Missed it by a foot.
That's one of the best sliders Jorge's thrown tonight. The one that goes to that back foot.
Well, on the Hyundai cam, you're going to see, because you can see that. That is such the beauty of the Hyundai cam. You see that tight red dot coming all the way into the plate to him right under his bat.
Here's the 1-2, and the fastball's fouled off. Talking to some of the Padres before the ball game, and you know, all year long, it's like they have a new name. It's not the San Diego Padres; it's the surprising San Diego Padres.
True.
And they're about over that. And as Matt Stairs pointed out, it wasn't with the Padres late last year. He said, I remember the second half of the year, final couple months, they were a pretty good club. So they pitched very well. They fielded it well. There's carryover. That's a foul ball.
Well, and here's the other thing about it. I know they have a whole new regime in there. With Morad as the owner, general manager, assistant GM, scouting directors. All those things are new. But if the trades they're benefiting from right now are trades Kevin Towers made.
Kevin Towers has always been a pretty shrewd general manager.
Well, think about it. 2 teams that went to World Series and he had to tear them down the next year and lower the payroll and then start all over again. He now works for the Yankees as a special assistant to the GM.
I'm sure he'll get another job here in the not too distant future.
I would think Arizona would probably look at him.
1-2 on Hairston. Padres are off to, this ties their second best start. They're 50-35 after 85 games, and their other 2 starts that either equaled this or were better than this ended in World Series seasons. 84 when they lost to the Tigers, 98 when they lost to the Yankees.
Ooh, good pitch.
That hit him.
What? It's so hard when a pitch comes in to see that it hit. Like that had to hit his thigh, maybe a little bit of the shirt, because then a catcher catches this thing cleanly. Barely grazed the outside of his thigh.
Well, he called it right away. He said it hit me right there on the leg.
Chase Headley's at the plate. He was robbed of a hit on a diving catch by Johnny Herrera in the 3rd inning. Tying run aboard for the Padres in the 5th.
Remember last time Harrison was over at first, he tried to take off on one pitch that was fouled off. He does have 5 stolen bases, been caught 3 times.
Four runs, 4 hits for the Padres. One of their 4 runs is unearned.
They try to work a hit and run too, maybe.
I don't think Bud Black does a lot of hit and run the way they say a Bruce Bochy does, or he doesn't do much creation with that that I've seen in the past. He kind of likes to let the game unfold, let guys swing the bat.
Well, I tell you, I could almost guarantee the one place he would do it, George, if David Eckstein was healthy right now, this is where he hits.
Yep.
And Eckstein has a calf injury. Bud told us before the ball game he thinks he'll be ready to go again tomorrow. He's missed the last several games, but he's a great hit and run guy, Huey.
Well, because he chokes up on the bat, he can handle it. If it's inside, he can still hit it to the right side, outside, push it over that way. Doesn't strike out much, so why not? He's not a guy that's afraid to fall behind in the count.
Two and two on Headley. Headley hitting .375 this year against Rockies pitching. That's something else Matt Stairs said. He said, we pitched great, we fielded great. He said, we really haven't hit other than Adrian Gonzalez. So to be 15 overs.
You know what it does?
Really
It proves the
nice.
point of old school baseball. If you pitch it and you catch it, you're going to win a lot of baseball. I think last week they went 3-0, 1-0, 2-1, 3-2.
Well, now we'll see what kind of manager Bud Black is if he puts Harrison in motion on a 3-2 count.
He's going, swung on and missed, and he got such a poor jump that he shut it down. If not, he would have been out by 30 feet.
Well, what I like, though, is where this throw went. He takes off, but then the throw is not over the bag. It's kind of leading Jonathan Herrera like a wide receiver in football where he thinks he's going to.
Thank goodness he did that.
Well,
Otherwise,
yeah.
that would have been into center field. That's the 6th strikeout for De La Rosa. And Adrian Gonzalez steps up. Adrian struck out in the first, but he got back at De La Rosa in the third. Fastball, and he got the barrel out. 18th home run for Adrian Gonzalez. 4th on the all-time Padre list now with 148 home runs. Jeff, you were a base stealer, and you talk about lefties, you go first move, and some guys lift that leg, kind of hold it, can freeze that way. A lot of guys have the balk move. The last couple of moves, he has used a slide step.
Well, you need to do that to keep the base runners honest.
Let me ask something different. From a pitching perspective, the runner's right in front of you is a left-hander. When you're a left-handed pitcher, I've never, ever bought into the fact left-handers got to do slide steps. Because the guy's right there in front of you. And left-handers have the biggest advantage and the ability to pick guys off because they're right there in front of you. And if you have a good enough move and work on that, you'll hold a runner tight to first base.
But that's the key. Do they work on it enough where they're holding?
I guarantee you, if I was left-handed when I was playing, I would have worked on it a lot.
Why not? It's relievers as well. Maybe come in out of the bullpen and pick a guy off.
2-1 on Adrian Gonzalez. 1 out. Jerry Hairston at first. Rockies nursing a 1-run lead. They're up 5-4. And Gonzalez with another base hit. Hairston will stop at second. He doesn't want to test the arm of Brad Hopp. Adrian Gonzalez hitting above 350 out on the road. 12 of his 18 home runs out on the road. Time for our Excel Energy fun fact. Ubaldo Jimenez has the highest win percentage. 938 entering the All-Star break among all Major League pitchers with 15 or more wins before the All-Star break. 3 pitchers have brought an undefeated record into the All-Star break. Dave McNally went 13-0 one year. Former Padre Brian Lawrence was 12-0. And Elroy faced Brooks Lawrence. You know what? It wasn't the former Padre. Brooks Lawrence back in '56 with Cincinnati. And then Elroy Face with 59 Pirates was 12-0. Scott Hairston 0 for 2. The pitch count at 91 for De La Rosa. This may be one of those ball games, depending on what happens right here. If he gets a double play ball, all bets are off. But it may be one of those things where the Rockies in his first game back, Jim Tracy may be content to get 5 innings out of him.
Watching out at second base, I'm watching Harrison, what he's doing. Jeff, I know as a hitter, you see a guy bouncing around back there. That's very distracting for you as a hitter at home plate.
Well, and Harrison, Jerry, the one out at second base, took off like he was going to try to steal.
And what's worse
It's
about it is his brother.
Yeah, come on.
What's he doing to him?
But you better hold him close because he might take off if Jorge goes to the high leg kick.
Might not be a bad time to do that inside move or step off the back. He steps off the back to get a new sign, but to let Jerry Hairston know he's thinking about him, right, Huey?
Yeah, or Jonathan can flash the open hand to try to pick off that way. Good call, Drew. But now for me as a base runner, whenever the pitcher did that, I had no fear now that he was going to do it 2 times in a row. He might try to pick me off some other way, but not with that inside move.
Two-strike count on Scott Hairston. Jerry Hairston at second, Adrian Gonzalez at first. 5-4 Colorado, 1 out, top of 5. Pitch count in the mid-90s now, 93. Manuel Corpus, you just saw a moment ago, throwing.
Last couple of outings, he's got doubles. San Francisco and then 2 shutout innings in that great comeback by the Rockies.
George, you've seen 94 pitches now. What are your thoughts on the first game back at the big league level after 10 weeks off for De La Rosa?
I think it's outstanding. He's been around the strike zone, 2 pitches, throwing a change up. He's made a couple of mistakes he's had to pay for. Whether it be 10 weeks off or staying on a regular schedule, those mistakes are still going to get hit.
What do you have, 100 pitches in his last rehab start?
I think it was 101.
101?
Yep.
So now you could probably go up to 115.
And that's going to fall, and it's going to tie up the game. Scott Hairston drives in his brother Jerry, and it's going to end up a double. Second and third, 5-5. And that'll bring up Nick Hundley, who has 2 doubles against him. And see how Jim Tracy plays this. Because Hundley has scorched the ball twice.
He sure has. On this Sunday, Cam, you can see the spin on the rotation of the baseball. It worked in below the label, but his strength just got the ball out over the head of Ian Stewart and soft enough that it allowed everybody advance to bases. So that's where you get the second and third and a run in. That answers your question, I think, when Mr. Tracy came to the mound.
So De La Rosa goes 4 1/3. It started out very well for Jorge. He had a 1-2-3 first inning, including 2 punch outs, but he gave up a run in the second, 2 in the third, run in the fourth, and now a run here in the fifth. that first inning with traffic, and he gives way to Manuel Corpus. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. So Corpus inherits a tough situation. Gonzalez at third, Hairston at second. Nick Hundley at the plate, 2 for 2, a pair of doubles. Infield's back.
Well, the numbers on Corpus, and you know, he really, quite honestly, did not pitch well for a while. But he did a decent job in the closer's role, 10 out of 12 in that situation. The other 2 blown saves came early in the game, so 7th inning. 46 innings, 28 strikeouts. He has given up 4 home runs, but Manuel making his 41st appearance.
Kind of been an up and down year, George, because he was great in April. In fact, he's the long man initially, moved back into the closer role because of performance. 1-1. And Jim Tracy, you know, amid all of the jubilation of a 9-run 9th inning the other day, Jim Tracy, who never misses anything, took time out in his post-game press conference to mention the 6 outs that Corpus got to ultimately win that baseball game. He doesn't miss anything.
He doesn't miss, when you say he doesn't miss anything, he doesn't miss an opportunity to give a positive reaction to a player when they do well.
Here's the 2-1. There's a loop down the right field line, and Brad Hopp's not going to be able to get there. Careful there. That's where Brad got hurt in Anaheim, running into the low fencing in right field. That's where he injured the ribs. Repair that chip in your windshield. Call Safelite Elite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com. 2-2 count on Nick Hundley.
Well, Brad did the right thing there, kind of easing up right at the end when he knew he couldn't get to it to save that body.
Five for 6 and a home run against Manny Corpus. Obviously likes what he has seen.
Strike 3. That's huge. What were we saying about 5 for 6?
5 for 7.
What they had mentioned in the notes there, and flashed it up for you at home. He was 5 for 6 with a home run against Manny Corpus. Manny paints the outside corner with a heater. Normally balls that high away don't get called a strike. That wasn't a strike, but thank you, Mr. Foster, anyway.
That'll bring up Aaron Cunningham, a double and a ground ball to third for Cunningham. And this is a tough chance for Barnes, and it's going to cost the Rockies 2 runs as Giambi blocked it, but it got away, and the Padres take a 7-5 lead. Barnes made a great effort, but because it got away on the hop and allowed the second run to score, it's going to be the second error tonight on Clint, who's really played a flawless shortstop till tonight.
Well, you got to try to make the play. I mean, in 1 run, you know you're going to give up. You've got to try to make the play when it's all the way over there into the hole. Would it be a better serve, Jeff, looking at that replay to try to go to third?
Yeah, it would have, especially the way the momentum's going so far away from first base. To go ahead and eat it, give him that broken bat infield single, but immediately look to third.
You know, tough break because it was a very good pitch by Corpus. This is deep in the hole, but an easy play. In the inning, 3 runs come around for San Diego, and they now lead at 7-5. Back and forth we go. Game 1 of 3 between the Rockies and the division-leading Padres. Light Cold Hard Blast. Carlos Gonzalez in the third inning with Johnny Herrera on base. Belts one over the center field wall for his 16th home run of the year. Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Rockies trailing 7-5 as they hit the bottom of the fifth inning, and that's pulled foul. Carr goes 2 for 2. He's had a big homestand. He's got a 6-game hitting streak. He's 13 for his last 26. 1-1. He's second among National League outfielders in home runs. He's third among National League outfielders in RBIs. He has 20 RBIs, Jeff Houston, in 22 games now as the 3-hole hitter.
What pressure? I mean, that was a big question. Would he be able to handle the pressure? I think that's answered.
That thing's a rocket off of Jerry Harris. That's about the only way you get him out now. And I'm not kidding. I mean, think about the last few ball games when he has made that rare out. It's a rocket at somebody.
I have to admit, this ball was smoked so hard. Tim, what do you do when you're an infielder? Give up the body and go, hope this doesn't really hurt so bad?
Well, especially at second base. I mean, when you get that ball, you know it's going to hurt. You know it's going to leave a big welt and a bruise. But you got to do it.
Giambi hit a 400-plus foot ground rule double to left center field his last time up. He also has walked. He's 5 for his last 5 in terms of official plate appearances. Been on base 6 straight times, and the only reason it's not 7 is that Jerry Hairston cheated.
Like a rover in softball.
Exactly. Bring up Miguel Olivo. Time for tonight's Quest High Speed Pitch, brought to you by Quest, the high-speed internet provider of the Colorado Rockies. Correa at 93. Jorge De La Rosa was throwing hard, and that's good news in terms of De La Rosa letting the baseball go and not being affected seemingly by the finger. De La Rosa gives up 7 runs in 4 1/3, 5 earned. 95 pitches, 6 hits, walked only 1, struck out 6. Olivo grounds out to third. Rockies are done in the 5th, so we move on to the 6th. Padres up 7-5. Sixth inning, top of the Coors Light freeze can. play by Johnny Herrera to steal a base hit earlier in the ball game. That was the Frost Green Coors Light Freeze game. Everett Cabrera will move over to the left side of the plate against Manuel Corpus. Corpus got the final 2 outs of the 5th inning. 7-5 San Diego. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Jeff Hewson, Alana Rizzo. Strike 1 on Cabrera. A lot of pressure on the opposition to get something done in the first 6 innings offensively, because they have Luke Gregerson and Michael Adams in front of Heath Bell, 7, 8, 9, and their bullpen has the lowest ERA in the game. One and two.
Well, you're going to see Adams, you're going to see Gregerson, you're going to see Bell, obviously, to finish it up if they still have the lead. Thatcher, well, he'll pick his spot with him.
Strike 3. Cabrera's gone. Second strikeout for Corpus. And Tony Gwynn's going to hit for Correa. So Bud Black is content with the work Correa's done. He leaves on the plus side. And he also leaves having retired the final 7 hitters he faced after giving up 5 runs in about a minute and a half in the 3rd inning.
Thatcher, the left-hander, he has started to fire it down in their bullpen. Tony Gwynn, when he hurt that ankle the other day, was climbing the wall, as his dad put it to me, on the 2nd Adam Dunn home run. Got a little high, tweaked it on the way down.
I know he wasn't climbing the wall in the 3rd Adam Dunn home run, because that thing almost left the stadium. Strike 1. And quite a thrill for Big Tony to be able to watch his son play on a regular basis, in addition to coaching San Diego State, as I think many of you know. Tony Gwynn handles some of the broadcasts, some of the color work. That's foul. No, it's fair. It hit the chalk. And Gwynn is going to have himself a double. Jerry Hairston Jr. coming to the plate. There's Tony.
There's Daddy. You know, when he sees his son get that double, he's looking, oh, where was his stance? Where were his hands? One of the best hitters in the history of the game. You know, there it is. He's trying to come inside on it. Now watch how quiet he is. See, it's just a little pickup, hesitation, and then it's just all upper swing. But his lower half was in a very good hitting position before the ball ever got there. Kept himself very balanced.
What's different than what he was standing, or how he was standing last year?
Well, they're painted lines here. They're not chalk, but the paint flew right on top of it. Any part of it, it's a fair ball.
Got the outside of the line, but as you said, any part of the line, it's fair.
Randy Flores has started to throw down in the Rockies bullpen.
Well, that's for, it's definitely for Adrian Gonzalez, but you may want to flip around Chase Headley. He's a much better hitter from the left side than the right side. 2-0 on Jerry Hairston. There's Joe Thatcher, the only lefty for the Padres.
And the Rockies are going to send up Hop Stewart to start off the bottom of the 6th.
It just shows you how much confidence he has in Gregerson and Adams not to save that lefty if he does, in fact, decide to bring in Thatcher.
3-0. Well, Gregerson has allowed lefties to hit 133. Adams 183.
And that's why he says I can go ahead and burn Thatcher here in the 6th.
And a 4-pitch walk to Hairston. Headley will come up. Sets up a force all around.
And Jim Tracy, Bob Apadaga both talked to Miguel. Said, go out and talk to him for a second. Buy me a little bit more time.
Well, receive $10 to $15 in free concessions with power tickets. Are now available on all games played at Coors Field. 1-800-388-ROCK or just go online at ColoradoRockies.com.
That'll be all for Corpus. Padres up 7-5, 2 on. And Randy Flores will be aboard when we return. Tonight's E470 Road Ahead is brought to you by E470. Quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. Padres tomorrow afternoon at 6 p.m. or early evening, however you want to describe it. And then Sunday in the afternoon. And then it's an all-star break for everybody. Rockies will send Jason Hamill to the hill tomorrow. Jeff Francis on Sunday. A couple of left-handers the next couple of days for San Diego, Wade LeBlanc and Clayton Richard. And then that 11-game road trip after the All-Star break. Jeff Houston was talking about earlier. Cincinnati, South Florida to see LeBron James and the Marlins. And then 4 in Philadelphia against Charlie Manuel's 2-time defending National League champs. So Chase Headley will face Randy Flores.
Randy's number is 35th game to appear at 2-0. Good job for the Rockies. 320 earned run average. What he has been able to do is handle both sides in this area of the game in the 6th and 7th inning. Left-handers $171, right-handers $219. Drew mentioned earlier to turn Mr. Headley around. There is a reason for that. He's hit over 300 from the left side, 204 from the right side.
Strike one on Chase Headley. Randy Flores, former Southern Cal Trojan. He walked on at Southern Cal and he had a tremendous career. Converted as a professional from a starter to a reliever.
Well, you know, a lot of clubs will take a college guy, even high school guys, and start them until they reach the AA level. Their stuff and stamina in a ball game will decide what their next role will be.
1-1 on Headley. Runners at first and second. That's a strike. Chase 0 for 3. Robbed of a hit by Cabrera. We showed you that play earlier. A couple of strikeouts also. Gwynn doubled. He's at second. Jerry Hairston just walked. Third time Jerry's been aboard. 2 walks and a hit batter. Flores looking for a ground ball at somebody in the infield. And this is a pop-up. Flores calling for it. And now Giambi comes in.
That's the right call. First of all, it's an infield fly, so no matter what happens, batter's going to be out. One of the few times that I thought the pitcher could have it. Sometimes we tell him to get out of the way, but then at the last second, Jason ran him off there. And the infielder always has a priority over the pitcher.
If you're looking on, all you care is that it's caught from a Rockies perspective.
That's right.
Now Adrian Gonzalez. 2-run home run in the third after a strikeout in the first. He also singled last inning. Adrian had a huge June. Started July slowly, but then went 6 for 11 in the Washington series. He had 363 in June with 7 home runs and 23 RBIs. Also threw out 12 doubles. He's headed north to San Diego to Anaheim for the All-Star game. That's a great one if you're a Padre. Heath Bell's going now. Real easy for the family.
Or a Dodger.
Or a Dodger, yeah. Really easy if you're an Angel.
Miguel and Randy just haven't been able to get on the same page since he's come in. That's the third time they've had to call timeout. First time Miguel's gone out there.
So Flores is set 1-1 on Adrian Gonzalez, and he is not a guy that you don't want to be on the same page as your catcher with.
Just make sure you're committed to that pitch, whatever you decide to throw if you're Randy Flores.
Rockies playing their outfield very deep. You look out there, you think it's the 9th inning, and they're playing no doubles.
Quite the St. Louis Cardinals no double depth, but pretty deep.
They had no homer depth.
Yeah.
Ground ball to first, and Giambi will pick it up and run to the bag. In the inning, there was a double by Gwynn and a walk to Hairston. 2 men left aboard, 7-5 Padres. Brad Hopp to lead off in the 6th. bottom of the 6th. The Padres had a 3-0 lead. The Rockies got 5 in the 3rd to take a 5-3 lead. Carlos Gonzalez, a 2-run home run that inning. 2-run home run from Ian Stewart. Miguel Olivo had an RBI double. But the Padres have gone back out on top, and they're going to hand it to their bullpen. It's a great bullpen. Joe Thatcher is going to handle the first couple of hitters at least in this 6th inning. Brad Hoppy and Stewart. 26th appearance for Thatcher.
It is, and he's done very well. You think about it, the innings pitched down because this is what he does. He comes in and gets a couple of left-handers, and he's out of the ball game. Doesn't walk many. A little bit surprising on that because sometimes he'll drop way down left-handed. So a sweeping slider.
Misses there. Ball 1 on Brad. Brad 0 for 2 in the game. Couple of punch outs. It's Ryan Webb. 1-1. And how good's the Padre bullpen? 3 of their 7 members right now have ERAs under 2. Tim Stauffer has an 0.39. Ryan Webb, you just saw, has a 1.65. Heath Bell, their closer, 1.72. And their bullpen ERA leading baseball, as we mentioned. Minnesota Twins 2nd. Rockies are middle of the road. They're at 14. Way inside.
You're trying to stay in there, but that's just no fun when he does it.
No, and I know people at home are going, "Oh, he should have just stayed in there, let it hit him."
Take it for the team? Right. I don't think so.
No, I know, but that.
Oh yeah.
You hear people yell that all the time, but your first reaction is to get out of the way.
That was my first reaction as soon as he lifted his leg.
That was
arm angle,
impossible to hit.
Arm angle and velocity. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo.
All right, guys, just wanted to quickly tell you, we mentioned how good David Eckstein was in a hit-and-run situation, not in the ballgame tonight, dealing with that calf issue. He may be in the lineup tomorrow, and one thing is for certain, the Rockies can count that he's not going to make any mistakes. In this season alone, 70 games played, he has gone errorless. In 70 games, 626 and a third innings. He's the only infielder in Major League Baseball with that many games that doesn't have an error so far this season. So you mentioned how good he was at the hit and run. He's pretty good about playing clean baseball as well, guys.
They're not in there tonight. He hopes to be in there tomorrow. David Eckstein. That was Alana's great Colorado Payback sideline report. 1 out. Stewart with a 2-strike count. Rockies have punched out 9 times tonight. Correa matched a career high with 8 punch outs. Actually, it was a season best 8. He had 9 strikeouts at one other point in his career. 2-2 on Ian Stewart.
They're kind of able to laugh about it a little bit, but they'll still jar you.
How can you laugh when you take a ball to the mask?
If you're a catcher, how can you be a catcher?
Why would you want to be a catcher?
Right.
You're in every play.
Oh, yay. Yahoo.
3-2 on Stewart.
Ask those guys that catch 140, or ask Texas guys how they like it down there.
One out walk to Stewart. Barmas coming up. And Bud Black is on his way to the mound. He's going to go get the right-hander Webb. We're going to take a timeout. The Padres leading 7-5, middle of the sixth. Rockies trying to rally. This Sunday on Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy. Colorado welcomes back pitcher Jorge De La Rosa. And we'll meet the newest Rocky filling in for Todd Helton's first baseman Brad Eldred. Of course, we'll have our sit down with Jim Tracy. That is Rockies Weekly Sunday night at 9 right here on FSN. Clint Barmas will face Ryan Webb, 24-year-old out of Clearwater, Florida. Another one of those members of the Padres bullpen that has been terrific this year.
Look at the earned run average, 165, throws multiple innings when he comes in. He's only walked 10. Big, strong right-hander. He throws the ball well. Look back at some of the numbers, what he's accomplished. Fastball range from 92 to 99. You don't see the 99 very often, but you see a lot of 94, 95. Slider, 81 to 87 miles an hour, and a changeup to go along with it.
Stewart at first, Barmas at the plate. Couple of strikeouts for Barmas. Had his 14-game hitting streak snapped yesterday. 14-game hitting streak is career long.
Jim getting Seth Smith ready to go to take that one shot to try to tie this thing up. Only the left-handed bat tonight on the bench. And that's all their left-handers are gone.
Yeah, and that's where it switched, George, because earlier Eldred was up, Ryan Spilborgh's had a bat, the two right-handers, and Jim Tracy, as soon as they brought in Webb, said, hey, Smitty, go get him.
This is popped up. 2 outs. Well, it's not going to be Seth Smith. Smith's going back, and Brad Eldred's going to swing the bat. I think, you know, it's one of those deals. If Barmas had reached, there were 2 on. He's going to have Smith hit. He likes to hold Smith back. That'd be a real early spot for Smith. And if he did hit there, the ultimate tip of the cap to the late relievers for San Diego, Jeff.
Well, it is, and now you have him still, though, in your back pocket, Seth Smith. And if you get another opportunity in the 8th inning to use him, that's when you'll use that card. Just avoid having a matchup with Webb, regardless how well you did against him. The guy's pretty good. Like to have your strength going maybe against a weakness of theirs. Well, now you get an opportunity. Maybe Eldred get one of those 95-mile-an-hour fastballs about 3/4 of the way up in the stands.
Except you got an 85-mile-an-hour slider there. Strike 1 on Big Brad. 3 for 4 in a Rockies uniform. He had a start a couple of nights ago, and he hit 3 rockets. A couple of hard singles and then a double off the left field wall. I would think he's not going to see a fastball.
Oh, another 85-mile-an-hour slider.
Well, the big key to it is don't try to sneak something inside on him, because you're going to get busted if you do, and the ball's going to get hit very hard. 2 sliders in a row, and why not go one more? Just don't, as a pitcher at this situation, sometimes try to throw it too hard. He doesn't. Great position.
We got him on another slider, so Eldridge swings and misses. Rockies leave Stewart at first. We'll go to the 7th, 7-5 San Diego. Nothing. Rockies took a 5-3 lead. San Diego has been up 7-5 the last couple of innings, getting to the back third of the ball game. Top of inning number 7. Scott Hairston, Nick Hundley, and Aaron Cunningham. 4, 5, and 6 for San Diego. Matt Belisle on for the 40th time this year.
Throwing a lot of innings, but man, has he been productive. 53 punch outs in 51 innings, just 11 walks given up. A very fine earned run average of 2.65. He'll face this Padre lineup.
He has been one of the top setup men in baseball this year. He really has, if you look inside the numbers. Hairston tonight, strikeout, deep fly ball to center field, and an RBI double. Belisle works quickly, and he hits the bottom of the strike zone. Oh, and 2.
Good fastball, maintained very good velocity and direction on his fastball. The last pitch at 93, elevated into the strike zone. This big Texan has found a home and a position in a bullpen from the 7th inning on.
This 92 or 93 just seems to sneak up on the hitters, though.
Well, short arm. I think that's the reason why. Guys with short arm, quick arms to the plate. That 92 appears to be 94, 95.
Two-strike count on Hairston with Hundley on deck. Not a lot of flash in that San Diego offense. They do have a 2-run home run tonight from Adrian Gonzalez.
Well, that's all the flash. You have to call it another name. That's the bling bling.
Yeah.
Their lineup.
But they've taken advantage of every mistake tonight. The one walk, hit by a pitch, error, a couple errors.
Ooh. Got him on the hand. Yeah, I think Jim Tracy heard the knob of the bat. I know that's what he's going to argue.
It sounded like it hit wood.
It did sound like it hit wood.
Yeah, might have got his pinky, but that's part of the bat.
Tracy pleading his case to Marty Foster.
Guys in the dugout here asking Marty to get some help.
You know what? I think it grazed him. I really do, because he had his hand off of the bat and everything was out. And you could see it, the ball shot away from him. Still getting attention at first base.
I think that hurts a little bit, that shot of his hand just shaking.
The old squeeze test now. Squeeze my fingers. Does it hurt when you do that? Yeah, it hurts.
He's trying to put the glove on. I don't know if that feels good either. Well, no one else can feel your pain like a fellow player. Well, I'm sure he's been there many times. In this case, Jason Giambi. Hundley at the plate. 2 for 3, 2 doubles, 2 runs scored. Ball 1. Fowler coming on. Dexter's going to have it. That's 1 out as Hundley's retired. That'll bring up Aaron Cunningham. Repair that chip in your windshield. Call Safelite Elite Auto Glass 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. Cunningham a double and a single tonight in 3 trips. 7 runs, 8 hits, and an error for the Padres. 5 runs, 7 hits, a pair of errors for the Rockies. Both of those errors charged to Clint Barmas. Ball to strike. San Diego, after the All-Star break, will be at home against Arizona for a 3-game set. Then they're going to head east for 6 games. They'll play Atlanta and Pittsburgh. This ball is hit well to right center field. And Hairston, who runs well, is around third. He gets a green light from Glenn Hoffman. And he'll score the 8th Padre run. Aaron Cunningham, 3-hit night. You look up this lineup. Jerry Hairston, journeyman type player. Chase Headley's a solid player, came up in their system. And you come to Aaron Cunningham, a young player, called up because of injuries. He's got 3 hits tonight, Jeff Houston.
Yeah, and 2 RBIs, too. That's the other thing that you get from him. And this time, this double was unlike the one he had back in the 5th inning when it was just the blue. Or, excuse me, in the 1st inning when he had the double.
Chris Denorfia, another journeyman type player, is at the plate. And Chris is a nice story. He's symbolic of the old line in baseball: if you can play, they will find you. Denorfia went to a Division III school, Wheaton College in Massachusetts. Career .292 hitter in the minor leagues. He's at 280 as a big leaguer. Not this time. He's gone on 3 pitches, 2 outs.
By the way, that run score given up by Matt Belisle, that's breaks a streak of 8 games, 7 1/3 scoreless innings.
It had been a while. Everett Cabrera is 0 for 3. Did reach on an error in the 4th inning. One and one.
Seven of 9.
Wow.
Big doubles.
Got a season high with those 6 doubles. Strike 2. 1 and 2. Cabrera missed more than a month with a hamstring injury. And he doesn't look real comfortable at the plate. He's been caught looking twice in this ball game. Jorge De La Rosa got the start, went 4 1/3, gave up 7 runs, 5 earned. On 6 hits, walked 1, struck out 6. Cabrera got for the 3rd time. Cunningham doubles in Hairston, and it's 8-5 Padres. Time for the Cooney Lexus look back. Brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. Adrian Gonzalez hit a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning, and the Padres led 3-0. But the Rockies came roaring back against Kevin Correa in their half of the 3rd. 2-run home run. from Carlos Gonzalez, and then after an RBI double from Miguel Olivo, a Stewart 2-run home run. But the 5-3 lead was fairly short-lived. Broken bat, Blue single, scored a run, and a tough play by Barnes that short hop Giambi, 2 runs scored on that play. Infield hit in an error. 7-5, then 8-5 after the run last inning. Fowler takes a slider for a strike from Webb. Webb got the final 2 outs in the 6th inning. Dexter didn't fare well against Correa. He's now 0 for 15 in his career. 0 for 15 against Correa.
Well, there's always that one guy that has your number. And for whatever reason, I mean, out of that 0 for 15, probably 8 or 9 balls hit hard. It just right at somebody.
Fowler, Johnny Herrera, Carlos Gonzalez. See if the Rockies could pull off more Loto magic. Tuesday and Wednesday, unforgettable nights at Coors Field. Rockies a 9-run 9th on Tuesday. Erased a 5-run deficit on Wednesday. Chris Iannetta, the walk-off winner, and then a more conventional 4-2 win yesterday behind Ubaldo Jimenez, who went 8 strong innings, allowed just 3 hits, in improving his record to 15-1.
National League starting rotation, it's pretty stacked for that ball game in Anaheim.
Now it's a full count on Dexter. Rockies have 9 outs to work with against the most formidable bullpen this year in the National League, the San Diego Padres.
Hey fans, come out to the ball game tomorrow. Why? Well, every single one of you that show up is going to get a Rockies team poster. Every one of you.
Rockies have struck out 11 times in this ball game. So 11 of their 19 outs, they've gone down hacking. Johnny Herrera's 1 for 3.
Ranked 3rd among National League second basemen in the month of July with more than 25 plate appearances. His average at 414. Kelly Johnson 417. Dan Uggla leads the way at 462.
Came to the ball game over his last 19 games, hitting 370. He has a leadoff man's approach, Jeff Houston. He's going to see a lot of pitches.
Well, that's because he's done that his whole career. A switch hitter, always hit towards the top of the lineup. Not going to hit a lot of home runs, maybe 1 or 2 a season if he's lucky, but he knows his job is to get on base for the other guys.
And he's going to get on again. Two for 4 tonight. And Carlos Gonzalez coming up. That's always a good thing.
Short, compact swing towards strike zone. See where 85 mile an hour, right down and in just a little bit. Johnny stays on it right over the head of Jerry Hairston Jr.
Single in the first, 2-run rocket in the third you just saw. And then he hit a bullet that almost ate up Jerry Hairston. He was able to knock it down and throw out Cargo. That came in the 5th inning.
Third inning, when he left the bat, not a whole lot of doubt. This ball took off for dead center field. Tried to climb the wall. As hard as that ball was hit, from his position to get to the wall, he couldn't get there in time. The ball cleared about a foot.
Two balls, no strikes on Gonzalez. Rockies trailing by 3 runs. And this is a broken back base hit to left. Third hit of the night for Gonzalez. Time run will come up to Giambi.
Yeah, it's one of their 7th inning men. Gregerson is getting loose down in the bullpen right now. You got all these left-handers, no left-hander down in your bullpen. Balsley's going to go out and buy some time for him. See where this pitch is. Didn't try to do much with it. Just sinker down and away. Elevated a little bit. Allowed him to get this ball out into the outfield. Son, the guy you're getting ready to face up there, he's pretty good. His name's Giambi, and he's an MVP. Hits it real long and very far. So do not leave a fastball in the middle of the plate to him.
All right, go get him.
Have fun.
Good luck.
Right? Yeah. Well, he's turned the year around, obviously, hitting .345 with runners in scoring position, 10 for 29.
Yeah, just looking at some numbers. Carlos Gonzalez with the 3 hits tonight, now hitting .312. Depending on how a couple of guys in front of him do, he may wake up tomorrow morning the top 5 in the National League in hitting. Here's Giambi. Ball 1. Giambi swinging the bat well. Walk in the first, double. Ground rule double that he hit over 400 feet, basically to center field in the third, and then a rocket. It would have been a base hit, except Jerry Hairston was playing in short right field. 2-0. No, called a strike. 1-1.
That was a late call. Obviously, Jason didn't think it was.
Probably shouldn't have, because the strike zone said it wasn't either.
I wonder it was late. It was a ball.
Came in there again. Giambi fouled it off. 1-2.
But just that one call really changes the whole complexion of the at-bat for Jason. It's horrible. Yeah, so instead of going to 2-0 where you can really just say, okay, it's got to be in this location, the exact spot I want it. Now, 1-1, throws it in a little bit, you foul it off, and you're in a hole 1-2.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Miguel Olivo on deck. 8-5 San Diego. Two and 2 count, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. And that is a base hit to center field. Here comes Johnny Herrera. Carlos Gonzalez to third, 8-6. Jason Giambi with another ribby is 19.
All singles in the inning, but hit hard enough. He was 10 for 29 with runners in scoring position prior to that bat. 11 for 30. Everything's getting better with a lot of RBIs and base hits for Jason Giambi. A little tantrum out on the mound by Mr. Webb, slamming some things around as he watched Giambi head to first base.
Well, it's a little bit of a payback, too, for what the Padres did with the broken bats, the last 2 by Carlos Gonzalez, now Jason Giambi, 2 broken bat singles.
And Bud Black is going to bring in Oscar Salazar in a double switch. And Everett Cabrera leaves the ball game. Rockies within 2. Runners at first and third. 1 out. Luke Gregerson on when we return. overtime tonight at Coors Field. Rockies trailing by a couple of runs. FSN Rocky Mountain is your home for exclusive Rockies coverage. Text FSNRM to 95323 to receive the latest Rockies updates to your phone. If Jerry Hairston moves to shortstop from second base, Cabrera out of the ballgame, and Oscar Salazar is in the game at second. At third base is Carlos Gonzalez. He singled. Jason Giambi just singled, is at first base. And Miguel Olivo, who's 2 for 3, will step up against Luke Gregerson, who throws his slider the majority of the time.
Yeah, and his slider's a pretty good one, too. It'll run up all the way to 90 miles an hour. Low end of it at 79. His fastball runs to 94. But it will be hard slider over and again. 41st game, a lot like Belisle. He's pitched a lot, thrown a lot of innings so far. 41 and a third, 51 punch-outs. He's given up 3 long balls in those 41 and a third innings. Excuse me.
Here's the 1-0. 2-0.
This is where Miguel has to go up with that game plan, guys. It's just saying, okay, he's going to throw me a slider. Even if he throws him one fastball, stick with the game plan of the slider looking away, because he wants to get it, roll it over for the ground ball double play.
With Brad Hopp on deck. Gregerson's numbers this year are silly good. Righties hitting 159. Lefties 8 for 60. 133 average. Bud Black looks concerned. He knows what the Rockies did earlier this week. And that's nowhere near the zone. Bases are loaded for Hopp. And the tying run will go to second in Giambi.
What? How about that message? Olivo wanting to knock a game off in the standings and beat the league-leading Padres here in the Western Division.
Been a tough night for Brad at the plate. But like all good veteran big leaguers, he's got a short memory. 3 strikeouts so far tonight.
Very short memory. He's 1 for 4 with the bases loaded. The Rockies have hit just 200 this year with the bases loaded.
Well, that tells me that number's going to get turned around in the second half.
I'm just looking down in the dugout here. Aaron Cook's been moving around, just seeing if he might try to run him out at second base.
1-1. How about Gregerson? He was part of the Khalil Green trade when Green went from the Padres to St. Louis. He was the player to be named later. Two and 1. Stewart's on deck. Usually, not always, the player to be named later doesn't become a fixture in the big leagues.
I'm wondering if they want him back, too.
Well, after their bullpen performance the last 3 days in Colorado, I would say yes, emphatically so. 2-2 on Brad Hopp. 1 out, bases full of Rockies. Gonzalez at third, Giambi at second, Olivo at first, a run in already. Will the magic continue for another night in load-up? 8-6 San Diego, bottom of 7. And down the left field line, it is a foul ball. That may have cleared the bases. Miguel Olivo was already halfway to third base.
Especially down in that little area down where that ball was. Scott Harrison wasn't going to be able to get it. See how close this ball was to being fair.
That's about a foot and a half. It's close enough. Everybody need to be moving.
That happens again. I hope that fan doesn't touch it. It would have cost the Rockies a run. Two and two. So with 2 outs, Ian Stewart will come up. He had a 2-run home run back in the third.
Breaking ball that he takes away, the hard slider, and it appears it's going to stay up as a strike because of the velocity he throws it with. Brad helped him out chasing.
Ian Stewart with the bases jammed. Ball one. Here's his home run back in the third inning on the first pitch from Kevin Correa. Breaking ball up and he swatted it.
Great inning for the Rockies. 6 pitches, 5 hits, 5 runs. Before Correa could get out of it.
Ball, 1 strike. It's a little bit odd, George, when you have a guy who has a fastball 90 to 93 and doesn't throw it very frequently.
Well, that's right. It's about 30% of the time with the slider working the other 70. I think he just has so much confidence.
This ball's hit a long way to left, and it is grand slam, Ian Stewart. Stewart.
I think all the Bud Black can think about right now is, hey, all that stuff I watched on ESPN the other night, they weren't lying. This club can explode from the 7th inning on. They do it here into the opposite field, right down the line.
What a time for the Rockies' first slam of the year. They have taken a 10-8 lead.
2 home runs, 5 RBIs. So, 7 RBIs for Ian Stewart tonight.
Crowd wants a curtain call.
There was no doubt down here on field level whether that was going to go out. It was loud.
And Barmes hits a pop-up to shallow left center that's grabbed by the shortstop, Hairston. But the Rockies have the lead, 10-8. 6 RBI night for Ian Stewart. Oh, what a pretty sight. grand slam, 2 home runs tonight, 6 RBIs. Just the 4th home run allowed all year by Luke Gregerson. And the Rockies have a 10-8 lead. Gregerson coming in had allowed only 8 hits against lefties.
Boy, it's got to feel good after the struggles. Now all of a sudden 44 RBIs on the year, 11 home runs now. Well, just amazing how we can just change everything. Melvin Moore goes to first base. Rafael Betancourt comes into the game to make his 37th appearance. 12 holes on the year, 4.70 earned run average.
Oscar Salazar will be the hitter. Came into the ball game in a double switch in the bottom of the 7th inning. .94-mile-an-hour fastball with movement. Strike 1 on Salazar. Six RBIs, a career best for Stewart. It's the most by a Rockies player in a single game this year. Rockies been efficient, George. 5 runs in the 3rd, 5 runs in the 7th.
Well, you don't want to waste them and spread them out too much. Just do it all at once.
Do it all at once.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was nice,
takes a lot of the drama out of it.
What was nice too, George, is the way the fans gave Stewie a standing ovation when he ran out on the field in between innings.
That's a great crowd.
Oh my.
2 strikes, the count on Oscar Salazar. They went the fastball up and away, and this is in the air to Brad Hopkins. Hey Jeff, one of the things that Don Baylor, Jim Tracy try to implore to Ian Stewart is to A, be more aggressive, and B, realize you don't have to pull the baseball. I mean, he's 6'3", he's 235 pounds, he's a very, very strong man. He can hit it out from foul pole to foul pole, as you just saw.
Well, and sometimes I think when you get hit on the elbow like Ian Stewart did, the one thing he was more concerned about than anything was trying to get fully extended. And when you do that, sometimes consciously you think, okay, my swing's got to be a little bit shorter. It doesn't have to be so long. And that one was a prime example of that, where he was pretty short to the ball, but then long as he hit the ball through it. And he's got power as good as anybody in the major leagues.
Strike 1 the count on Jerry Hairston. He's been on base 3 times tonight. 0 for 1 officially. A couple of walks and a hit by pitch. 0-2. 36,123. Thrilled with what's transpired in the last few minutes. Joe Bible maybe specifically getting ready for one hitter.
No question about it. That's exactly what he's doing. Gonzalez 4 for 25 against him. He started out 0 for 21. He's had his number.
Matt Belisle's the pitcher of record on the plus side. Ryan Webb is the. Hey, let me correct that. It's Gregerson who has the hook, not Webb. Webb gave up 3 runs. Gregerson charged for the last 2, and that's a base hit. So 1 out, 1 on for Chase Headley. He's got some pop. Well, we've got tacos, fans. The Rockies have done it again. They've got 7+, so don't forget to go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locales tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies Tacos special. Jim Tracy going out, and he's going to bring in Bible right now. Same strategy when we saw Flores, Jeff Houston, because you have Headley, a switch hitter, who's a far more impactful hitter, at least this year, from the left side than the right side.
Yeah, barely hitting over 200. That's why he's doing that. And then the other thing is you had Adrian Gonzalez to follow him if something happens. He'll get 2 batters. That's it.
10-8 Rockies. So the streak continues with 11-plus hits. It's 8 games in a row the Rockies have 11-plus hits. Joe Bible appearing for the 500th time in his career. There's been only 339 players now to appear in 500 games. Congratulations to Joe, in terms of pitchers, that is.
38 games for him to appear in, and obviously innings and appearances. Big differential here. Decent move to first base. The thing that he's it gives you the big advantage if you're Tim Tracy is he can get right-handers out as well as left-handers. He's not just a left-handed specialist.
He's been so deceptive to both sides this year. Righties are hitting 238, lefties 184. This is his 50th appearance of those 500 against San Diego. Most of any club he's faced. 1-1. Jerry Hairston at first base with 1 out. Close. Not called a strike. 2-1. Jorge De La Rosa started the ball game for the Rockies. 4 1/3. 7 runs, 5 earned. Double play ball. Well done, Joe Bible. Again. 10-8 Colorado, middle of 8 at a raucous Coors Field. Tonight's game summary is brought to you by Ecotech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. It's been back and forth all night. The Padres had a 3-0 lead. The Rockies went ahead 5-3. The Padres went ahead 8-5, and then the Rockies scored 5 last inning, including a grand slam from Ian Stewart, his second home run of the night. And they have a 10-8 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Carlos Gonzalez, 3 hits and 6 RBIs tonight for Ian Stewart. Tim Stoffer's had a terrific year. He'll be on to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rockies, with the 9-hole up, didn't double switch Melvin Morris. So this is the pitcher's spot. Ryan Spilborghs will pinch hit here. And then Dexter Fowler. And this is a broken back fly ball to pretty deep center field, but it'll be tracked down by Chris Denorfia. That ball went a long way for a bat that shattered.
Grabbing up the pieces, taking it back into the dugout with him.
As we mentioned, 8 straight ball games with 11+ hits. The franchise record set 12 years ago. Very early in the season, surprisingly, 9 straight. And I say surprisingly because Jeff Houston, as you know, you usually figure in some cold weather games here where hitting's no fun.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you get 3 or 4 hits just because of the weather.
And that kind of night for Dexter Fowler. He might as well run up there with a 2-strike count. 0 for 4, 3 punch-outs for Dex. And now 4. Stofford has painted the outside corner. 2 outs. That'll bring up Johnny Herrera, who's 2 for 4 and has scored a couple of runs. Our Breaks Plus pull of the game involving Ubaldo Jimenez. How should the manager pick the guy who will toe the rubber first? Should it be ERA? Should it be wins? Should it be complete games? 55% believe it should be wins. I think it should be a combination thereof. And in this case, all bias aside, when a guy's 15-1 with a 2.20 ERA, he ought to get the baseball.
And a no-hitter.
And thank you, and a no-hitter. And that's not taking anything away from Josh Johnson, but he's got more wins. And the ERA, the difference isn't that dramatic. And very quick inning for Stoffer. A couple strikeouts. He gets Johnny Herrera there. We'll go to the 9th inning. The Rockies looking for 3 more outs to close out the Padres. It'll be Houston Street. Baseball on FSN is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. By Dex One Marketing Solutions, business results. By Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Old Chicago, eat, drink, and be yourself. The Rockies carrying a 10-8 lead to the 9th inning on a wild night at Coors Field, but wild nights have been the norm of late. Speaking of wild and a little bit different, here's Tom Helm.
You got that right. How about Ian there, done that. Ian Stewart with a career night will break it down as he drives in 60% of the Rockies' runs tonight. Also 5 and dime. 2 5-run innings added for their 10-run total tonight. We'll break down those innings as well. And, of course, we'll get you down into the clubhouse for all the post-game sound. Drew?
All right, sounds like a plan. Ryan Spilborghs is in right field. I like that 5 and dime.
You like that 5 and dime? 10th game to throw out the closer tonight. 3 for 3. And save opportunities. 261 earned run average. Yet to walk a batter.
Adrian Gonzalez, Scott Hairston, and Nick Hundley. 3, 4, and 5 for the Padres. Gonzalez 2 for 4, including a two-run home run in the ball game. And Scott Hairston, who's always swung the bat well against the Rockies, is 1 for 3. Hit by a pitch. He scored a couple of runs. And then Nick Hundley's 2 for 4. He has a couple of doubles and has scored a pair of runs. Jeff Houston Street is getting sharper and sharper by the appearance, but he has not had that pinpoint control just yet.
Well, and that's going to take a little bit of time. Hopefully he'll have it tonight coming out of that bullpen. Each time he steps out on the mound, it gets better and better, like that pitch right there.
Yeah, that was pinpoint. That was knee-high on the black.
And because of all the time he's spent over in the American League, a lot of guys haven't seen him that much. Matt Stairs has, and he hurt him. If they happen to get guys on base, that's who you're going to see come out to pinch hit.
You'll probably see him for Aaron Cunningham.
Stairs in his career is a guy that has done some of that damage. And the work he's done over in the American League, 4 for 8 with a couple of home runs. Other than that, there's Eckstein's hit 429, but he's not able to play at this moment. Backdoor slider on an 0-2 pitch.
Well, you know what? It got up right up to the welcome mat, George, and then it stopped. Didn't knock on the door.
No, well, I mean, it's close enough. You ought to induce a swing, but you got one of the better hitters in baseball. You can see it work its way around the plate. Good idea. Elevate the fastball and get it up in the air.
93 miles an hour, trying to go above his hands.
That was nice to see, too, 93 miles an hour. Kind of climbing that mile per hour, climbing back up there for Houston.
10-8 Colorado. Crazy ball game again at Coors Field. Strike 3. A delayed call by Marty Foster. And Adrian Gonzalez is not pleased. Adrian got run for the first time in his career last month for arguing a called third strike. And I think more than anything, Jeff Houston, it had to do with how long it took Marty to make the call.
You're exactly right, Drew. If he calls it right away, you don't get a whole lot of argument. And it was off the 4th strike zone.
Well, that's part of it there, Jeff. This is a very good hitter, knows his strike zone and follows. If you watch him a lot of times, he tracks the ball back into the catcher's glove. And we saw it that far outside. He had to say something.
That pitch fouled straight back. He was middle up. Now Adrian pleading his case to his teammates. Oh, and 1 on Scott Hairston.
Marty's been late a couple of times tonight, so maybe it's not necessarily, just on Gonzalez. He's been late on other hitters.
Well, he was late on Brad Hopp earlier tonight, too.
Boy, how does he not swing at that?
He just started off the plate a little bit too much out of the hand. You see it as a hitter, and then even working away, but that just started off the plate. If he starts that on the plate and then working away, he'll swing at it.
Going away again, 2-1. Fastball on past Hairston. And you're right, Jeff. It's good to see consistent George Giddy up with 93.
Up into the zone. I think that's the best part about it. Hard to catch up to when it's up above the hands.
Here's the 2-2. So it's 3-2 on Hairston. Nick Hundley's on deck. Here's the payoff pitch on Hairston. He's got it. A lot of life on this fastball, Frazier.
Yeah, watch this on the Hyundai cam. As soon as it's a punch out, don't tell me Miguel Olivo's not fired up. Comes up out of that crouch on the backside. Now watch when he goes to the first base after he catches this baseball. Johnny hitting excited, fired a bullet to first base.
So we saw him running up the first base line, yelling, let's go to Brad Hopp, encouraging his teammate as he walked earlier in the game to load the bases. Marty Foster, again, a little bit tardy with the strike call, but Houston Street and the Rockies will take it. It's 0-1 on Hundley. 2 outs, nobody on. The Rockies leading 10-8 in the ninth. In the air to center field. Fowler's in range. Rockies win it 10-8. 5 straight W's for Colorado. They're within 2 of the Padres and the top spot in the National League West. And another come from behind late night victory. Ian Stewart, the difference tonight. Our delivery of the game brought to you by Jimmy John's. Well, early in the ball game against Kevin Correa, a 2-run home run for Stewart to give the Rockies a 5-3 lead. And then with the Rockies trailing 8-6, off Luke Gregerson, who's been next to unhittable this year, an opposite field grand slam. First slam of the year for the Rockies. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. This is as close as the Rockies have been to first place in the division since April the 27th. 10-8 Colorado.